If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
My name is Tyler Fornes, and I am one of the co-hosts of the Good, the Bad, and the Hungy AEW podcast here on the Voice of Wrestling Podcasting Network. We take a broad scope approach to the world of All Elite Wrestling and the entire universe of Tony Khan. We talk about the big matches, the big stars, the promos, the storylines, and we also look at it from a big picture perspective. How are things going to change over the course of the next 10 years with AEW still in the picture? How are companies like WWE going to adapt and adjust to AEW? Are they going to be a similar way like they did with WCW in the late 1990s? Will there be a counterpunch? We talk about all of that and more on The Good, the Bad, and the Hungy every week on the Voice of Wrestling Network.
Hey everybody, my name is Jesse Collins, and I am the host of the Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast, a show right here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. On the Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast, we take a deep look at individual issues and stories that are going on in the wrestling world. Each episode is about a different topic, and we take a thorough and educated look at things ranging from current booking trends to breakdowns on individual performers and angles to investigations into different fan cultures across the industry. In addition, we keep a close eye on the wrestling media, and as a professional journalist, I bring a unique perspective to how current issues in wrestling are being covered and discussed through the wrestling media. We have a revolving series of guests from across wrestling punditry joining us on each episode, and we hope that you make the choice to give us a listen on wherever you get your podcast from.
TNA is the best wrestling in the whole world.
Warrior.
But can you believe it? Kurt Angle's in the Impact Zone!
Warrior.
Think this is funny? No. Why would you do this?
Told to.
Get a life! Get a life!
Warrior.
We haven't always been America's favorites, but we will always be America's most wanted.
Warrior.
Death to ECW. Long live TNA.
Warrior.
This is BS! This sucks! I've lost my objectivity, and I don't give a damn!
Welcome, everybody, to You've Got to Be Kidding Me, episode number 55. We are a TNA history podcast that covers TNA 1 month at a time. On this episode, we are talking about the month that is December 2006, leading up to Turning Point 2006. I am Garrett Kidney, and I'm joined by Liam Jones.
What a December to remember.
That was this month. That was in this month.
I knew that, and that's why that was a good reference.
There's a couple of notes that will mention December to Dismember on this episode of the podcast.
I'd rather forget it.
I don't think I've ever watched that show in full.
I know that Sylvester Turkey is on it.
Yeah.
As I clarify that.
I know there's a really good Hardy's M&M match. I remember that. That's the one good thing on the show.
I mean, they had to give it a go, you know?
Well, the whole thing is like, we'll talk about it because it's relevant somewhat, but Heyman got dumped after the show. They changed the entire show. They got rid of Heyman's show. They changed the Elimination Chamber, so all his fucking hardcore boys like Rob Van Dam and CM Punk got eliminated and were a bunch of nerds. And then they fired Paul Heyman or sent him home, and he was gone for a few years.
The whole deal.
Yeah, it's a real big deal, It's not a changing it, because Heyman was only, like, around on the periphery post-Brock anyway. Like, it's not like Heyman was this big force in WWE post Lesnar. But yeah, it is an interesting thing. And like, it is, again, we'll raise the question because the relevance here is, should he go to TNA? And will people want him to go to TNA?
Yeah, they will say that for the next 10 years.
Yes, we will get closest in 2010. But yes, it begins now.
The show having such highlights as Balls Mahoney versus Matt Striker.
Oh, dream match.
Elijah Burke, the Pope, and Sylvester Terkay versus the FBI. Davari versus Tommy Dreamer.
Yep.
Kevin Thorne and Ariel versus Mike Knox and Kelly Kelly.
Yep.
Yep.
Do you think if the brand immediately found the identity it did like a year or two later, people would have been super into it?
A pseudo NXT?
Yeah, the like weird landing ground for kind of like guys who don't fit elsewhere but are good.
Yeah, probably, but I mean, like, they never cared, so that was really the only thing that was stopping it, you know?
And that is the only thing that made it good in the end, because, like, this is the version that they quote-unquote cared about, you know?
It's so funny that the 3 people they eliminated, like, they got rid of Punk immediately, and then, like, Van Dam doesn't even make it to the end.
Nope.
So it's like your final 3 of Test, Big Show, and Bobby Lashley.
Big Show, who we'll also talk about, because he's also on the way out the door.
Coming to TNA soon.
Yeah, maybe. He'll get rid of that slave name, as he said.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he's like, someone called him Big Show in that hiatus after he left before he returned for the Mayweather match. And he's like, don't call me by my slave name.
That's crazy. Take me back to any internet forum in, like, the early 2010s when everyone would say the same shit about the WWE names.
Yeah. But before we get too much into wrestling, how are you doing?
Okay. Just chilling. Surviving. Moving forward.
That's all we can do.
Yeah.
I've completed Naruto.
Well, kinda.
Yeah.
A version of.
We have watched the manga adaptation of the anime, I guess is how you would put it.
We've watched the manga canon version of the anime.
So I know everything that happens in Naruto up until the end of Shippuden. There's this thing called Boruto I keep hearing about, but you know what? It's fake.
I've never heard of it.
You've convinced me it's fan fiction, so I will believe
it is. Which, you know, probably gives the impression that I dislike it when I enjoyed it, but yeah.
Yes, it is a 6-year journey. I was looking back to see when I first tweeted about Naruto. It was July 2019.
Pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID. That's wild. That's really crazy. It took us fucking 6 years to get through about 500 episodes, but we didn't probably watch 500 episodes.
We watched 479.
Is that the number?
Yeah.
All right. That's not bad.
Yeah, and not including... Like, we watched other stuff as well. So, you know, bounced around.
Yeah, my hot take is it's a good show.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm the guy who comes in and says Naruto is good.
Yeah. What about One Piece?
It's fucking ugly as shit.
Whoa.
I'm sorry if you're like a super One Piece lover and a defender and diehard, but I think those are some of the ugliest character designs I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry. I hate how it looks. I detest how it looks. I can't get past how it looks.
Anime Twitter coming for Garrett.
Come for me. I will defend them with my Kiba's my favorite Naruto character take. That's how I'll deflect them.
I'm sure that'll go over well.
They'll be like, you know what? We thought he was crazy about this One Piece take, but we heard that Kiba's his favorite Naruto character. So, you know what? He's sane. He's logical. He's reasonable. He's dead right.
Yeah, I think that'll be the thing that placates them.
Famously reasonable, understandable people, Joshi fans.
I will never say a bad word. I don't know what you're fucking talking about. You're crazy.
That was the biggest Freudian slip I've ever had by saying Joshi fans instead of anime fans.
I don't know where that came from.
Oh my god. Yeah, they're both the sadist group of people.
I have no idea where that came from at all.
Fundamentally capable of being normal.
Yep, I've always said this. And I do not co-sign anything said here.
But yeah, I enjoyed Naruto. I think it's a really good show. I think it's a show worth watching. It is the first anime I have quote-unquote watched, quote-unquote, start to finish, inverted commas, quote-unquote, more or less.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good place to start because it's a good show based on my infinite knowledge of anime.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how other things stack up, or if like we'll develop nostalgia as it was the first one.
Yeah,
you know, because everyone likes the first anime they saw, you know, because it's the new medium.
And I technically like I watch Pokemon and Digimon, but like they barely even count. They're just like
Digimon more so, but they both barely count.
Yeah, if you were too mainstream in the 90s on actual television, you're not a real anime, really.
Yeah,
get fucked a Dragon Ball.
I was gonna say, except for maybe like the one.
But yeah, I enjoy my dive through Naruto. We will have some sweeping up to do, so I will fully understand, and then obviously consuming whatever fuck Boruto is.
Who knows? It could literally be anything.
It could be. That's the thing. You were telling me last night it was like maybe about aliens and technology. So I've been watching a lot of the X-Files, so I'm prepared for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on the first episode of One Piece and be like, this is what it is.
I wouldn't know the difference. I wouldn't know the difference. I would recognize the art. Damn. The X-Files is a very funny show where like the first 2 or 3 seasons they like to like dance with the idea that like, oh, there's a line between science and technology and magic, and everything kind of sort of has a rational explanation until increasingly it doesn't.
And they go, nah, it's all bullshit, crazy shit, don't fucking worry about it.
And then they're just like, there's genies. This genie's 500 years old. She gives wishes, but she gives wishes that are bad.
And it's not technology, I swear.
No, there's no technological thing behind it. There's no like, oh, she got chemicals in a lab kind of bullshit. There's nothing to underscore it. It is literally just genies are real in the world of the X-Files.
I hope that means like, you know, there's some like earlier things where they're like, they definitely weren't real. And it's like, oh, genies are real, but ghosts, no.
Because like it was the whole premise of the show, right? You have the true believer and the skeptic, and the true believer is always like, oh, it's aliens, oh, it's magic, oh, it's blah blah blah, and the skeptic is like, they're
that's
Mulder,
insane, woman.
You're crazy. No, the woman is you're a crazy person.
I took a 50-50 shot.
She is the skeptic. And yeah, then it's very funny when you get to like season 6, where she is still like, listen, Mulder, there's got to be an explanation for this. It's like, after all you have seen at this point, Scully, come on.
I hope then she goes, yeah, all right, fair.
Every so often, literally, it is just like, really?
Like, come on, it has to be a goblin. Like, it can't be anything else.
Yep. Like there is an episode where she gets very excited because the genie, it's the same episode, the genie, one of the guys wishes to become invisible, but he immediately walks out in front to get hit by a truck because the truck can't see him because he is invisible.
That's his fucking fault.
He did not think it through. A very good point.
Like, don't go in the middle of a road. Like, I don't have to be invisible to be hit by a truck.
Yeah.
That's not on the truck.
Scully finds the body and is like,
also terrible wish.
Listen, they didn't think it through because the first thing he wished for was a boat, and she dropped the boat in the middle of their like trailer park, and he's like, what do I do with this? It's like, you didn't ask me to put the boat in water, you just asked for the boat.
And if you had said put the boat in water, I would have put it in the fucking Pacific Ocean somewhere.
And like there's a whole thing where like his brother is in a wheelchair and the genie is constantly like, so there's not like an obvious thing you want to wish for, like pointing at the brother, and the brother's like, good point, I should get a gold-plated wheelchair.
To be fair, though, would she have just done it for him? Would she have just been like, yeah? Or would it be like, all right, I wish that my brother was out of the wheelchair, and then she just flings him across the world?
You see, like, the whole point of the episode is everyone always wishes for greedy things. So that's the reason she's, like, all cynical, because man is like, oh, you always want power, and you always want to be beautiful, and you always want money, you greedy pieces of shit. So then Mulder eventually gets her, you unroll her from a carpet, and then you get 3 wishes, naturally. And Mulder's like,
classically,
I will be the man who is fair and decent. I will ask you for peace on Earth. So then she removes everybody on Earth other than Mulder.
She's like, yawn, heard that one before too.
Yeah, it's like, you got it. Peace on Earth. No war anymore. It's just you.
Yeah.
And then classically, he did eventually wish for her freedom. What a coward.
So it's her greed.
Yeah. Oh, I can't live my life. I'm always subject to all your bullshit. Because she only became a genie because she found another genie and she also asked for long life and power. And that genie was like, get fucked. I can give you long life and power by making you a genie too.
I wouldn't mind being a genie.
This is one episode, by the way. I wouldn't mind being a genie either.
It's not my go-to. I want to be a werewolf. I want to be a creature of the night.
Yeah.
No, wait, fuck. I meant vampire. My mind was in two places. I was thinking of the werewolf movie.
Yeah. I think I would choose werewolf over vampire myself, though.
No, terrible choice.
Why?
You're not in control.
But like vampire, you have a whole set of rules too.
Yeah, but like you can get around it.
You can't even walk into a place without being invited.
Yeah, and then I will simply invent... I'll wear a sign on my chest that says, come on in, and when they read it, they'll read it out loud, and then I'll walk in.
So you'll like literally, you'll walk to the front of the door and you'll point to the sign and just stand there until they read it.
Yep.
That would probably work a surprising amount of times.
I also think it's pretty easy to manipulate someone into let you in their house.
So like you can learn like, oh my god, my kid got hit by a car.
My phone is dead.
Phone. Yeah.
Yeah. Or, adversely, I can just kill people on the street. Why do I have to be in the house?
You can also lure them to you.
Yeah. I will,
well,
under the guise of real estate, they will travel to my castle far away.
Also, you could become a real estate mogul, which feels like an unmined source of vampire lore.
You gotta keep it low-key.
But, like, if you become the world's largest real estate mogul,
yeah,
you will own everybody's house.
I don't think, money's important to a vampire at a certain point.
But I don't mean it for money. I just mean you'll own their house, so you don't have to be invited in.
Oh.
It's like a workaround.
Or I own a construction company.
Yeah.
That builds all the houses.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say, technically, whatever Dark Lord bestowed this upon me, technically, I should be allowed to go in whenever I want.
Yeah, but I wonder how that works. That if, say you build the house and before you sell it, you're like, it's mine so I can go in and out. When you then sell it, I wonder, does that reset the invite? Or is it set to the building or is it set to the occupants?
Well, then it wouldn't be set to the occupants unless, because then if they went to a new house, I wouldn't be allowed to get in that house, surely.
Yeah, so it is probably set to the building, right? So if you give yourself permission before you sell it, it's genius. How has there never been a vampire real estate mogul?
Well, the first one was kind of that.
Yeah, he did have a castle.
Nosferatu was kind of about real estate.
And then he did move to England, which was his mistake.
They brought the plague.
Mm-hmm.
And I would bring the plague.
I've read Dracula. That's one of the few classic literature things. It's I've read Dracula.
I'm bringing the plague wherever I go.
Really?
Yeah.
You are sick right now, so listen.
And I brought the plague.
You are prepared.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about TNA.
Okay. Another plague.
Depending on the era.
All of them.
Before we jump in, you can head over to patreon.com/kiddingme or tnachat.com where you can check out.
Hey, Garrett. You know what carries the plague?
What carries the plague?
Crows.
Yeah?
We have a shirt with a crow on it.
Whoa! And you know how you can not get the plague? By buying the shirt, because it'll scare the crows away, because they'll think you're a crow?
Yep.
Yeah. You can head to the link in our description where you can buy the Scorpion versus Crow t-shirt. You can buy... Well, we have a new poster for the PCS.
And
yes?
Wait, are we saving that?
That'll be next month. The split's not
next month. Something's coming. You'll never know what it is. Fuck you.
But because the PCS has started this month, we'll have a PCS poster, and I think we'll probably do a PCS t-shirt as well with the same design. It's a really cool design, so I think it's worth... We'll probably do the PCS t-shirt in the PCS orange as best as we can.
And the PCS could mean anything.
The Paparazzi Championship Series. What else could it mean?
Yeah, but for legal purposes, it could mean anything.
That's true. Yes, so you can go check out that in the link in our description. If you are a patron at patreon.com/kiddingme or tnachat.com, you can save 10% with the code that's in our pinned post as well. So go check that out there. You can save 10% on the shirts or posters. We have a bunch of the posters. Our posters are really cool. I think you should go buy them. It's approaching Christmas. If you want a last minute Christmas present for the You've Got to Be Kidding Me fan in your life, that's the perfect place to go. You can go to patreon.com/kiddingme, save 10% as well. And while you're there, you can listen to Gift of the Pods, whereas we're really coming up toward the end of... Wow, we're so woke. We're coming up toward the end of Lucha Underground Season 1. We'll be talking about Ultima Lucha soon enough.
And buy the shit we make.
Yes, that's the most important part of Christmas.
Please go purchase our stuff. So I can afford clothes.
Yes, so Gift the Pods Raintakers, all of our other shows about Ring Cat King, about Wrestling Society X, about the Monday Night Wars, about Randy Savage's album. Also, after next month's episode, we'll be doing the draft and the end of year awards for 2006. So that's coming up too. So you can check all that out at patreon.com/gettingmere, tnachat.com, and also link in our description wherever you are to find the link to merch. Yippee! That brings us to the month that is December 2006 in TNA.
Oh, December? It's beginning to feel.
They do open the pay-per-view this month with like a Carol of the Bells version video package. You were bemused because there's a bunch of like things on the screen and like, you know, Christmassy phrases, and they don't rhyme. It's meant to be like a carol, but it doesn't rhyme.
Well, they rhyme a little bit and they give up.
Yeah, they did. Toward the end, they're just like, oh, fuck it.
But maybe that's true poetry. Maybe you don't need to rhyme. Maybe rhyming is conforming.
It is. Rhyming poetry is honestly like a shortcut to good poetry.
You need to be able to make it resonate without the ease of a limerick.
Legitimately, like if you're like, oh, the Cat in the Hat did this and that, it's like, oh, all right, you have a nice little. It sounds nice to your ear, but what does it mean? What does it make you feel? Whereas if you're like, the flowers in my soul are withering due to the oppressive thumb of capitalism, you're like, damn. That brings us to the news.
Speaking of oppression.
Reaction coming out of the Genesis pay-per-view and TV taping the following night from The Office and the wrestlers is not positive regarding the booking committee's handling of match finishes, promos, and logic on the show.
Well, you know, there was some problems.
Believe it or not, they did not like Abyss and Sting.
I'm shocked, personally.
The general feeling is that the bookers aren't paying attention to details of logic and consistency in the application of rules.
Ooh.
During Jeff Jarrett's media conference earlier this month, he talked about focusing on the positives of Russo's booking, but the same mistakes that were made when Russo was in power in WCW have come to the forefront the last few weeks on TV, including the pay-per-view. One TNA talent who is among the most easygoing in the locker room was said to be openly questioning among friends the finish of Sting Abyss, arguing that it made no sense to fans why shoving the ref prompted a DQ but not all the other rule infractions throughout the match. They didn't listen to our show.
Yeah, I justified it and explained it. So, you know, go forward in time, 19 years.
And you'll finally understand.
Exactly.
Lance Hoyt.
AJ Styles.
It seemed like they were making up the rules as they go, he said. Says another talent. Everyone was rolling their eyes about Sting and Abyss afterwards. Regarding Angle ending Joe's winning streak, one longtime TNA wrestler tells PW Torch, I'm not sure if that was best. I personally think they should give the rub to someone else. Angle didn't need it. The attitude in the X Division isn't any better or worse since Russo arrived. They talk amongst themselves as if they're in the same boat as they were before, for better or worse. There's no sign of changing priority level.
Well, they've accepted their place, and I appreciate that.
And given Russo's historical booking of like cruiserweights, I think coming out level is a plus.
Yeah, him just being like, whatever. It's like better than actively burying.
Yeah, you get the same 12-minute pay-per-view match and 2 segments on TV to build it? Sure.
Yeah.
Regarding one source saying that Jarrett has seemed too busy or above mid-card wrestlers, one mid-card wrestler defends Jarrett, telling PW Torch, I have nothing bad to say about him. He's always shown an interest in my personal life and never seemed too busy to be cordial. He's been great.
Okay.
Jarrett has remained in charge backstage just as he was when he was an on-air presence. Between Jarrett, Russo, and Dutch Mantell, an outside observer stopping by the locker room wouldn't think one had more power than the other based on how they conduct themselves or react or how others react to them. Apparently Vince Russo writes, on average, twice as much for a 1-hour show as the old booking team did.
And boy, can you see it.
And keep in mind, they were cramming too much in. I think the first show of the month, there's a Naturals against AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels match. So there's like the perfect encapsulation of what this show is now.
Yeah.
Where it's like, the Naturals don't get an entrance. They're already in the ring. Styles and Daniels make their entrance. I think they go to break. Between the break and the start of the match, they show Kurt Angle arriving to the building. They show a serotonin promo. Then they go to the match, which is 3 minutes long. Who gives a fuck? There's a bunch of X-Division people standing around for no reason. Rhino comes out to further that story, and the match is sponsored by Sonic 06. Like, all of that happens in like 4 minutes, real time.
It's a regular modern day Raw.
It's crazy. Actually, yeah, you're right that like the whole like show stuff before they come back from break thing that WWE did was like really infuriating and
like
really
in
bad
between
pacing.
entrances.
Yeah, where someone would come out and the match wouldn't start for like 12 minutes.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what this is.
Yeah, it's just faster paced.
So it's better even so.
Probably is better.
Well, because you get to it quicker at least.
So because they tape so much, they have to edit a ton of original stuff out before filming. Then after filming, they wind up editing even more out because they still can't fit it in an hour. The latter has been happening for some time. That's why there's the feeling that basically everything is rushed and no angles have time to breathe, basically because that's how it is.
Yeah.
And you might think, next year, they get to 2 hours. They work all those pacing issues out.
Yeah, of course, that's all the time now.
They just simply add more content.
Yeah. That's because Russo starts writing 4 hours.
Yeah, and then he has to cram the 4 down to 2 and then the 2 down to 90. It is a little better in the 2 hour era. It's not quite as frantic as these shows are. Like, these shows are crazy.
Yeah.
Like, these shows have like 25, 30 segments crammed into a 1 hour television show.
It's like, I don't even really mind it, to be honest.
Listen, it is the hot controversial take. It is better.
Yeah, I mean, like, we've had so much, like, slow plotting TV in this company's history that, like, something going 1,000,000 miles an hour isn't a killer for me.
Too much happening is better than too little, objectively.
Yeah, especially when you, like, have to be entertained by it. Doesn't mean it's always going to be good. It just means it's better than the alternative.
It at least keeps new things flashing in front of your eyes every 90 seconds.
Yeah.
The Wrestling Observer has a slightly different stance from the X Division guys. From multiple reports, the consensus, particularly among those in the X Division, is very negative regarding the current direction of Vince Russo.
Well, I thought they didn't care one way or the other.
Dave is still getting in mixed people who like him, and the people who have no confidence in them haven't changed their minds either. So really, like, everyone who hated him hates him, everyone who liked him likes him, and it's the same and it's always been.
Yeah, he's got his boys, he's got his guys, and then there's, like, also a group of people that have never worked with him and who are like, okay.
The reaction to Angle has also changed greatly over the past week plus. It's starting to be the same reaction as in WWE. Angle is taking a super hands-on approach, talking to everyone about their matches, promos, and rubbing people the wrong way when he tells wrestlers that he's the greatest wrestler of all time.
That fucking rules. Eat shit.
I imagine like Kurt walking up to Sanjay. It's like, Sanjay, I watched your match. And you know, as the greatest wrestler ever, maybe you shouldn't do that moonsault in that place. Maybe you should move it around. I'm the greatest wrestler ever. Have I told you that?
That rules.
Dave says it's one thing for others to say he's one of the greatest, but you sure don't tell other wrestlers that when you are critiquing them. He's also telling them that he's going to be running the company. Right now, for public consumption, Jarrett is 100% sticking by Angle.
That's awesome. To be like, and just so you know, I'm going to be in charge soon.
Yeah, when I tell you you should do that differently, please keep in your mind that, like, I'm probably going to be your boss in like 2 months. So, you know, you probably want to listen to me, the greatest wrestler of all time, Kurt Angle.
That's really funny.
I kind of love it. It's really silly. Dixie Carter was at the Genesis pay-per-view, but not the TV taping on Monday. She continues to cut back on the number of TV tapings she attends now that she has 2 young children at home to care for.
Grow up.
Yeah, work harder, Dixie.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about your stupid children. I take it back. It's a joke. Dixie, one day I want you on the show.
Liam, sexist, hates Dixie Carter.
No, I don't. I've probably been more staunchly pro-Dixie than most.
You certainly like her more than Velvet Sky does.
Yeah, but that's not very difficult.
Several talents have been a little turned off by the increase in scripted lines they've been asked to read as part of Russo's attempt to guide their promos, but Russo has been flexible in allowing changes as long as the gist of his intended message gets across.
Sounds like the correct way to do that. I don't know what you want from me.
Pretty fair. One neutral observer says Angle's language often sounds mumbled because he almost always has a mouthful of chewing tobacco, a habit dating back throughout his WWE career, if not before.
Why is that news?
I don't know. But if you hear Kurt Angle not speak clearly, it's the chewing tobacco.
Okay. What? What the fuck is the point of even saying such things?
This is what I love. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that from this month that is just like, no one would report this anymore. It's just the kind of bullshit that no one says anymore. Dave doesn't critique anything anymore because he knows people will get mad at him on Twitter. So they made Alicia Klein look more attractive, so I liked her more. He says basically at one point this month.
Yeah.
Numerous TNA wrestlers say that there is an actual TNA talent drug policy. It is about 4 pages of small print that is part of the talent contracts they signed. It does explain what is not allowed, but to a person, not one has said they've ever been tested or heard of anyone tested other than Kurt Angle during recent interviews. They say that doesn't mean there haven't been tests, but they all believe that if they would have heard about them through the grapevine if they were. There doesn't seem to be any concern in the locker room about the policy or lack of obvious enforcement. It's seen as a situation where a wrestler who is showing signs of a problem will be dealt with, but no one is protesting in any way the lack of random tests.
Yeah, I'm sure the wrestlers aren't exactly throwing arms over that.
Wrestlers famously great at self-policing that stuff too.
But it's like, yeah, for the 60% of the people in this roster that doesn't even apply to, they're like, yeah, I don't have to go and piss into a cup randomly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit.
I included this one just to make you mad.
Oh, great. It's ratings.
It's mostly, I don't care about the numbers, it is the phrasing of it.
Yeah, okay, hit me.
TNA Impact has drawn disappointing ratings so far in the Thursday primetime slot. It could be spun as the low end of acceptable, and that's probably fair, but it's still disappointing.
Okay, so none of what you said was anything then. Fuck you.
So
what do you mean?
It's so stupid, bro.
It could be spun as, pretty good, but, I'm not going to accept that because I have a preconceived notion of what the ratings should be.
I like the way it's not even like it could be spun as pretty good and those people would be, coping. It's like, it could be spun as pretty good, and that's actually acceptable and correct.
And they're probably right when they say that, yeah.
However, I have decided it's bad.
That's so fucking stupid.
Followed by a note from the Wrestling Observer. Spike and TNA are closer now than ever before after this primetime special.
What are you... Oh, God, man. What are we doing?
We've been doing this forever. We can't escape.
We can never escape it.
From a Spike standpoint, the 1.0 is proof that TNA in primetime can be competitive in bringing a new audience to the station. Since they charted these things, they knew a lot about the 11 p.m. ratings when they were good and were the UFC fans sticking around, and they were wondering how the show would do without UFC because its lead-in is currently CSI, which apparently draws mostly older white women. And even without the UFC, it's done fine and everyone's happy. And still, everyone's
that's pretty
wow,
fucking disappointing if you ask me.
Yes, I have decided it's disappointing. BG James was the December guest for TNA's monthly conference call with the media on Tuesday afternoon. We'll have too much VKM this month. The main topics surrounding the VKM program were discussed. BG said at least 3 letters have been sent from WWE Legal to TNA that he is aware of. He quickly said, don't quote me on that, and revised it down to at least 1. He said that's why they can't use Triple H or Shawn Michaels, but they can use Vince McMahon because that is his legal name.
Okay.
So that's why we say Hickenbottom and Levesque.
Hickenbottom.
BG suggested that a dream match of DX versus VKM would probably never happen, but he would love to show up on Raw with Kip and have the match.
Why wouldn't you want to have it happen on TNA Impact?
It's a fair question. We might do a 1.2 rating and PW Torch might finally be fucking happy.
But it just also, it's like, okay, so you're really spelling it out what you actually want from all this.
He just wants to be back on Raw.
Yeah.
BG said that he doesn't have the WWE schedule and he's good friends with Jeff Jarrett, so there are 2 reasons why he would turn down a deal if offered one. Sure. Mm-hmm. BG also joked that he's completely out of shape, which is why he wanted to do the angle with Kip so they could stay far away from the ring as possible and have fun doing a wrestling angle, which is a great thing to say when you're on a media conference call promoting TNA wrestling.
I'm dog shit and I shouldn't be in a ring.
We are politicking to avoid wrestling for the betterment of us and everybody else. Thank you for our contracts.
Oh, God. He's the worst of all time.
He said their invasion of WWE could be viewed as a rehash, and it's not as good as the original invasion, GX invasion at the CNN Center WCW's Ready for Nitro.
Yeah, but also, I'm shit, and I'm, fat as fuck, and, I shouldn't be in a ring because it's gonna be terrible for everyone involved. And the angle I'm doing isn't as good as the one that I did before. And also it's not even that good. So all in all, yeah, I think I'm doing really well and worth my money so far.
If nothing else, it has people talking, which he said is great for the company, apparently. TNA's Voodoo Kin Mafia, Vince Russo, and Jerry Rohrer showed up at a WWE house show in Knoxville and interviewed fans on camera for Impact, which I don't think they used. They did use on-camera interviews, but I thought they were backstage at the Impact Zone.
Maybe they were like retapes of the same thing.
Or WWE was like, please do not air that. It is filmed at our event.
And we can get you for that one.
TNA's website has a story that BG and Kip purchased tickets to the show and brought their cease and desist papers into the arena for Triple H to sign on behalf of DX.
See, that's a good bit. Film that bit.
Yeah, there's like a tinge of like two good ideas inside the sea of utter unbearable slop, and they never rise to the surface because it's utter unbearable slop. During the main event, Triple H waved at BG and Kip but didn't sign the papers. BG encouraged DX to come to Orlando, Florida for a live event where Triple H could sign the papers. BG said on TNA's website, how do you feel about doing a BG?
I'm BG James and I'm a stupid fucking idiot. Unfortunately, our attempts to serve Levesque were unsuccessful. We also noticed many of our fans' attempts to stay awake during the main event were also unsuccessful. The good news is that the fat... The good news is that the fat, oily guy was nowhere to be seen. At least the great fans in the city of Knoxville, Tennessee were spared that suffering tonight.
Damn, he sounds so eloquent.
It's pretty good, right? It's a good BG.
I particularly like the start of it.
Yeah. That's the thing that, like, you know how you gotta have a phrase to get into an accent?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's the one I use for BG.
It gets you right in his mindset. The Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe match at Genesis was booked to go 25 minutes, and Kurt had dispensation to go 30 if he thought it would make it better. A lot of people who were aware of this were shocked when he went home early, and to the best of the knowledge of the Wrestling Observer, nobody had an explanation for it other than it was Angle's call, and that's when he called for the finish.
I mean, okay. Again, not a big deal. Guy was like, yeah, we can go 30. Fuck it. No, we can't.
Yeah, he's like, wait a minute, let's go 12. And the match was still awesome.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, going longer does not necessarily make a match better.
Tell that to every wrestling company of all time.
I know. Literally, chop 10 minutes off every match you ever do, you fucking fools. Angle wanted to do 10 straight Germans, and then like the whole thing is like, Joe is big, that'll be impressive. But then he did 3, and he was like,
he's like, oh, Joe's big.
Everyone on the show was told to stay within parameters and not go over because they wanted 30 minutes left for Angle Joe because they were well aware everyone was buying for that match, and the idea was to produce match of the year. Which is, if you think back to that show, there is that really weird stretch toward the end of the show where they are very clearly stalling for time.
Yeah.
Because they went short.
Yeah, I don't think it mattered.
No, I don't think it made the match worse, and I don't think going longer would have made the match necessarily better.
Yeah, I don't think and you couldn't really tell from the match either that like stuff was cut.
Yeah, like it didn't feel like they worked like the start of a match and went to a finish. It still felt like a coherent professional wrestling contest.
Yeah.
Though there is like a weird through line of Samoa Joe dream matches going short between the Liger match, which went much shorter, and like what did feel diminished because of how short it went, and now this one.
That one's still a weird up in the air case, huh?
This week's Kurt Angle appearance on the Bubba the Love Sponge show once again didn't focus on his pay-per-view match 2 days later, but on him claiming he would not just be doing an MMA match, but 4 MMA matches.
Kurt just seems to be fucking doing his own fucking thing at the moment.
This gets better. He claimed that the first would take place on a TNA pay-per-view in May or June, and that he had been training that style, but wanted 6 months of good training before doing such a match. He said the first opponent would be Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, Ken Shamrock, or Daniel Puder, and then cut most of his promo on Puder.
He's like, yeah, all these people that it could be, but then the guy most likely.
Yes. He claimed it would do 1 million buys if it was in UFC and promoted off UFC television. It may very well, but it's not doing 100,000 in TNA, Dave says. He also claimed the match would have headbutts legal.
Fuck yeah!
He's doing headbutt MMA.
He doesn't even want like pride rules. He just wants fucking headbutts.
He wants to throw heads at people's skulls.
That rules. Maybe he should be in charge of TNA.
I love, like, Dave gives this, like, earnest analysis. It's like, no commission in the country would actually, like sanction a headbutts legal fight. It's like, Dave, he's Kurt Angle. Just run with it.
He's just being Kurt. He also says he's going to fucking run TNA.
He's going to be throwing headbutts while running TNA and fighting in the UFC.
Sounds fucking awesome, to be honest. We should live in that reality.
Bless Kurt. I love these interviews every month because he just says shit and it's great. Paul Heyman left WWE this month, while Big Show made it clear he has no intention to re-sign. Big Show and Kurt Angle are friends, and Show lives in Tampa, so there's speculation already begun within TNA that Show might be open to signing. He's friends with Kurt, and he's lazy, so TNA could be a great fit, said one wrestler, noting that he can work 3 times a month, still be around wrestling, be close to home, and not have to travel.
That's fucking awesome. I mean, yeah, like there's parts of, like, you know, we saw it with AEW at the start too, where it's like, you know, part of the appeal was you don't have to go on the fucking road all the time and fucking break your body and travel and like whatever, you know, like that was a big plus. So you would see it, especially if you live in that area, like how it could be, you know, something to consider at least.
That was like the big thing with Nash in TNA, where he's like, I live 20 minutes from Universal Studios. I drive there. I do some bullshit. I go home. I get paid.
Yeah. Sounds like a good fucking job.
You take it if you can get it. I'm surprised Big Show never did TNA. I'm sure there was discussions, and maybe they were like, is he worth it after we've already signed Kurt and we've already signed Sting, and our roster pay bill is suddenly getting a little bit top heavy? Because Big Show would no doubt be, at the very least, a mid to high 6-figure contract, which maybe they were like, maybe not right now. But yeah, it's an interesting one.
I don't know how it would have gone, but you know, could have been something.
Yeah,
could have got
like who
Big Show who can move versus Prime Joe.
Yeah, I was about to say who would he work, but then like him against Joe was like a one-off. Build it up like he built the Steiner match.
Yeah, him versus Abyss. There could have been some fun there.
Yeah.
Paul White.
Yes.
No more BS.
The large event, or whatever he would have been called in TNA.
Yeah.
Probably, like, you probably couldn't trademark the Giant, right?
I'm not sure.
You could probably, I would imagine it would be pretty hard to get a trademark on something as like obscure as the Giant. So maybe you could go back to his WCW name.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Regarding December to Dismember, Test used a chair shot on Rob Van Dam and then climbed on top of the chamber with Show and jumped off with an elbow drop onto a chair, covering Rob Van Dam. Test got the pin in 14 minutes, to which fans responded by chanting TNA.
They're like, we're really waiting for 2009.
It's really funny that like this is the moment where fans are like, TNA is big enough and like fans are aware enough that if something bad happens on WWE TV, then they chant TNA.
We can show our displeasure by saying the name of another pro wrestling company.
But then also now TNA is like the exact same style of product.
Yeah. Even then.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not like it's fucking ROH, you know?
So it's not like TNA can like pat themselves on the back where like there was a fucking We Want Wrestling chant on their own pay-per-view this month.
Yeah. It's like you're in the same fucking set, you know?
They can't even be like, hell yeah, fuck you WWE, go fuck yourself. Look, they're chanting, oh wait, our show's the same as yours.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you don't really have much of a high ground to stand on, but you know, it's more the fact that you have become counterculture enough to be the chant used when we want to show our displeasure for something on the show. It's like, when they chant CM Punk, they weren't just going, we love CM Punk. It was, hey, we're saying something that you won't like because we're pissed at you.
Because this thing sucks.
Yeah.
Has there ever been AEW chants on a WWE show?
Yeah.
Oh, like during the Fiend match there wasn't there? The Fiend Rollins match?
Yeah. I mean, there's been AEW chants before. There was AEW chants when Billy Gunn was at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
When they had the classic, we'll buy your pissant company line.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's going well. They really got rid of it.
Mm-hmm. And good luck being like, hey, billionaire who has more money than us, we'll buy it out from under him.
Yeah. He will just fund it if he wants to. You could literally fuck him over in every facet, and if he wants to, he can just keep doing it.
Yes, that company could lose $200 million a year, and it could still exist if they want to, because they're fucking billionaires, bro.
Yeah.
TNA ended up being fined $225.
Holy shit. That's straight out of the Big Show budget.
Yeah, that's why they couldn't sign him.
They were actually $225 short.
And Big Show just wouldn't move.
Yeah.
After the fire that took place at the Hard Justice pay-per-view, OSHA conducted an investigation of the Universal Studios after the fire, and the fine was not for having an adequate emergency action plan. So that's the reason they were fined $225. They didn't have a plan for if something went wrong.
I feel like that should be a bigger fine.
Yeah, $225 is not like the disincentive you would want for what happens when the building catches fire during a live event.
And like, maybe everyone could have like died.
Yep.
You know, it feels like there should be more like, hey, we should fix this. You should not have this problem come up.
From this point forward, at TNA events, specific employees have to be designated to have portable fire extinguishers as part of an emergency action plan.
Well, that's good.
It seems smart.
It does seem incredibly smart.
Seems like if the place catches fire, you have to put it out.
Steve and John, you're in charge if the whole thing turns into a raging inferno.
The only guys who can stand between the fire and abyss.
Oh my god. Maybe Abyss should be in charge of getting rid of it.
Yeah, he probably could, I think. Because like he does his pose and fire shoots up, but it also goes out. So I think that's part of his abilities. We should probably mention Heyman. I brushed past it real quick. This is obviously the end of 2006. Because like the thing about Heyman, and I think like he never wanted to work TNA. That's always like my headline thing. No matter what anybody says, there's no world in which he like earnestly wanted to work for TNA. It was all a bunch of bullshit. But it's really funny how like if he had become available in August. Would there be a world where instead of looking to Russo, you would look toward Heyman a little stronger?
I mean, they probably would have made a play.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see a world where they don't make a play. But, like, Heyman's busy. He's got to go, like, run his, like, pseudo-porn babes websites and his bullshit business stuff and just, in general, be the sleaziest man to ever exist.
That Heyman hustle stuff is real creepy, both now and in retrospect.
Yeah, it's so, like, I don't know. It would make fucking Barstool Sports cringe.
He really does seem like a man who has never, like, moved beyond the culture in which he was raised.
Yeah.
It was like his 90s shock jock extreme culture, which was really like that was the moment and the zeitgeist, and he found great success in that moment. And it just felt like he never, like even like 2002 SmackDown, when that stuff, there was still fucking horrendous stuff on both WWE and TNA television at that point. But like the cultural moment was moving on and away from that stuff. And he still had like all the like Billy and Chuck stuff and like the Don Marie Al Wilson stuff and all the like the kind of classically Heyman 90s stuff. And then like even fast forward to when he had the brief run back running Raw in like 2019 or whenever that was. And like same thing, it happened, had all like the weird Heymanisms coming back in again. It's like he really just never left that stuff behind.
The Heyman Hustle is the disruptive media platform founded by legendary WWE writer, director, producer, personality Paul Heyman, who currently serves as special counsel to the undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion and certified perennial WrestleMania main eventer Roman Reigns. Home to the anti-influencer hashtag Hustle Booty Temp Tat supermodel brand. The Hustle provides exclusive content and covers the latest news, viral videos, and trends in all things sports entertainment, metaverse, and gaming. Paul Heyman has been hustling since he was only 13 years old when he sold his startup movie memorabilia mail order business to purchase a camera and photo lab that he set up in his parents' basement, leading to him becoming a photographer for several New York City-based entities. In 1993, he took on two multi-billion-dollar entities in the pro wrestling industry: Vince McMahon's WWE and Ted Turner's WCW, by launching Extreme Championship Wrestling, making history and ushering in what would be known as the Attitude Era. In his spare time, he co-founded the Park Avenue-based Looking for Larry agency, which is known for its wildly imaginative campaigns for 2K Sports, NASCAR, Smart Cups, Monster Trucks, EA Sports, and the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Las Vegas, newly rechristened the Virgin Las Vegas, where Heyman's agency established the hashtag Hustle Booty Temp Tat supermodel brand as a legit competitor to Sports Illustrated swimsuit models and Victoria's Secret angels. The hustle, as one can see, is real.
Sure. What a deeply unpleasant vibe.
Hashtag HBTT.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking GoDaddy.com, it's fucking Barstool, it's just, you know, it's Stern, it's fucking all this bullshit.
It's not even original. It's just the same old bullshit rehashed and being called disruptive.
Anything that calls itself disruptive isn't disruptive.
It's one of my least favorite words because it's like it's the kind of word that you say when you're not doing anything. It's like, we're disrupting the market. It's like you're just being like
so you're being annoying.
Yeah. And like you can be like, Uber is disrupting the market. You're just a different form of taxi. Like that's all you're doing. We've had taxis for as long as we've had cars. Like, you're not doing anything. Like, the delivery method is different, but it's the same product. It's like, and there was a quote this week about how, like, HBO Max were like, after the success of The Pit, we're going to try this whole produce lower budget but higher quality stuff more often approach. The way, like, television fucking used to be before you, quote-unquote, disrupted it with your bullshit.
Yeah.
Ugh. I hate tech bros. I hate technology. The technology has not built anything good in like 15 years.
Yeah, it makes sense why he's like an AI guy.
That is the news. That brings us to broad topics, starting with the dream match of the decade to the rematch. Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe. Which is worse, once in a lifetime or dream match of the decade done immediately again?
Dream match of the decade.
Do you think so?
No, I mean, like, dream match of the decade is way better.
Oh, okay, yeah. Which was better earned? All right, we go back to the original match. Dream match of the decade or once in a lifetime?
Once in a lifetime. Because, like, yeah, that is.
Is there, like, would you have, like, a once in a lifetime match now?
Austin Punk.
Yeah, that probably is, like, the last one left, isn't it?
Punk Omega.
Yeah. Damn, CM Punk, the only star left in wrestling, I'm hearing.
I guess you just have to think of like top guys from AEW and WWE that have just never crossed paths.
Like, would you consider Roman Kenny that kind of match?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just based on like the two biggest guys of the company.
There's not a lot of those kind of real top level guys anymore that haven't wrestled already. Because I seem like AJ and Kenny have probably wrestled at some point, right?
I mean, yeah, if you've been playing it like by the lore of the like letter, you know, they have had matches. I think when like very early.
But yeah, it would feel more special now.
No, 100%. That would be a dream match of the decade contender.
Is Devitt too far gone to have like a Kenny match feel special?
I mean, it'll feel big, but it wouldn't feel like that.
As like the kind of two Bullet Club leaders, AJ too, but that's already happened. That had like mean something.
Again, well, they've also wrestled before.
Yeah, extensively as well,
Multiple
but you
times.
know, especially in tag teams
And in singles.
but like most notably in tag teams.
They had like 3 best of the Super Junior matches against each other.
It does feel like there's like it's kind of the death of it because like no one's like Seth Rollins' dream match, you know.
Well, no, because they're talking about real stars.
Bless Drew McIntyre, but I'm not like, holy shit, dream match of the decade, Drew versus Jungle Jack Perry.
Yeah, but like there's, I mean, Seth is the worst one because by far there's nothing that would make me care.
Yeah.
But like, you know, Drew is a big man who hits things hard, so at the very least he has that going for him.
At least you would be excited for a good wrestling match.
Yeah. You know, there'd be some like Gunther things, I guess.
Yeah, Gunther against Kenny. It's really Kenny. Kenny and Punk are the two guys.
I mean, there's Ospreay.
Yeah.
There's like probably like when I was trying to think of like more modern examples of like Roman matches, it was like Swerve and Hangman are interesting.
Or like Okada, Walter.
Yeah, there's like Okada stuff. Because AEW has actual stars that are interesting.
And presumably Japan will eventually create a new slate of stars that you will be like, Okada wrestling Ozawa would be cool.
Nah.
But
Nah.
they're so fundamentally incapable.
But, you know, there's some interesting combinations of people still out there. The problem is, I think, on the WWE side, it's just Roman.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone else that's, like, an interesting, like... They have a lot of people that would be cool for, like, the undercard of a Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
But, like, the only real sort of main event thing that is a first time is, like, with Roman matches.
I was trying to think of, like, Cody matches.
But, like, they would be mostly retreads.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of stuff Cody's already done.
Yeah, it'd be like, I think the most interesting would be like something like, I guess, like a Cody, like MJF thing, which has obviously extensively been done.
Cody Punk hasn't happened yet, has it? Which would have been a match that would be infinitely more interesting in AEW than will ultimately end up being in WWE.
It truly could have happened 3 times and I wouldn't know about it.
I feel like that match, if that did happen in AEW, it would have felt big. And it'll happen in WWE and I won't care.
I mean, but that's unfair to put on them because, like, again, they could fucking resurrect the corpse of someone and put it against someone in WWE and I wouldn't care.
It is a fundamental problem there, isn't it?
Like, it's not even on the talent. It's just, I'm never gonna care. Like, there's nothing that can be done about it. Like, I just will never care about anything they do.
So, if you remember, at Genesis, Kurt Angle beat Samoa Joe, tapped him out. Joe's like, hey, I want a rematch. Kurt Angle, no.
A little bit of a bitch about it.
He's like, I have wrestled you. I'm done. I have to wrestle other people. Moving on. So we go to the November 23rd Impact. This is only a 3 Impact month, so you would think, oh, this will be light and breezy, except there's still 100 segments per show.
It is becoming more.
Like honestly, if you were to go, like the most dense months we've done are the months that had weekly Asylum pay-per-views and weekly impacts, where they're like 8 shows a month. And honestly, there's this 3-show month probably beats some of those 8-show months.
Yeah, because there's just like there's so much like intertwining as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of crossover
even
angles.
with like especially Kurt.
Yep, because he crosses into 3 programs, I guess, in one way or another.
I mean, like, if you were to watch just this first episode of TV, you would have thought it was going to be, like, Kurt and AMW versus LAX.
He is the true American hero. Get fucked. Canadian American hero, Petey Williams.
Petey and Kurt ever wrestle?
One-on-one, I don't think so.
I feel like they'd have good chemistry.
Yeah, because Kurt didn't do a ton in the X division, but every time he did, like every time he wrestled like Jay Lethal, or he'd have a random match against Amazing Red, or he'd wrestle Frankie, like he goes really well with the X division guys, but he didn't do a ton of it. So November 23rd, Impact, Kurt Angle arrives midway through the show. We'll talk more extensively about the AMW LAX angle when we get to it, because there's a bunch of stuff, but Kurt Angle involves himself in that, as LAX are once again attempting to conquer America. Kurt Angle makes a save, runs wild on LAX. Angle stands tall. Joe's music plays. AMW Cornette PD, get out of here, because who gives a fuck? We're not important. And we're back from break. Joe and Angle are back in the ring together. Joe talks about how he was undefeated for 18 months, admits Angle was the better man at Genesis. He lost to an Olympic gold medalist, but that was one night. And he admits, while he lost on one night, he wants to see what happens every other night, wants a rematch. Angle says he'll give a rematch on one condition. They make sure nothing happens to each other before Turning Point.
And the crowd is kind of like, thought it was going to be more like impactful than that.
It's a weird one, because it's a thing that makes sense in hindsight, because Angle is involved in the LAX
they
stuff.
retroactively like fix it.
So like it's a thing that makes sense for the story next week, but doesn't really make sense for him to ask for now. I guess he did just run off LAX, so maybe he's immediately like, oh, they're gonna fuck me up. But yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I think they have a much better explanation for why he accepts the rematch in an upcoming episode.
Yeah.
But here it is like, okay. Joe agrees, and they'll make sure nothing happens to them. It's like, it's very strange. It didn't work. It didn't make much sense. The following week's Impact, we are going to have a main event. It's going to be Kurt Angle and Petey Williams facing LAX for the NWA World Tag Team titles. One problem, LAX start killing everybody tangentially related to that match other than Kurt Angle.
Yeah, they really start going for it.
This is like, we can take out AMW, we can take out Petey, we can take out everybody, so it's just us and Kurt, and then you might figure out what happens next. But opening of the November 30th Impact, Letitia Klein makes her TNA debut. She's with LAX. She's the new backstage interviewer. She'll be our backstage interviewer for the best part of the next year or so.
She seems confused.
She does seem, she has an energy of like, how did I get here?
She's very like WWE announcer coded, because when they first come in, they're like, I don't really know what's happening or why I'm here, but I am, and I'm gonna try.
Yeah, they don't even like introduce her. It's not even like, Letitia Klein here, new TNA backstage correspondent. I don't think you get the name of her until the next week when somebody else says it in a promo.
Yeah, someone else says that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, someone else mentions, oh, hey, Letitia. And then you're like, oh, I guess her name's Letitia. So she just appears on the show with no context. But she's backstage. She's with LAX. Conan says Cornette is infringing on their First Amendment rights. Conan says Angle is aloof and overrated. And tonight they're going to find out what LAX is all about.
Conan's like, I've had to talk to him backstage, and he's always fucking telling me about how he's the greatest of all time.
He's insisting he's my boss? I don't think that's the case, but...
And it feels racially motivated.
A note from the Wrestling Observer. The new interviewer, Letitia, is not someone from Spike per se. Spike does want TNA to have more women on the broadcast, but she was a TNA acquisition. Jesse Ward, who works in production, and some may know from Tough Enough, found her somewhere. She was brought in several weeks earlier for an audition, which she was, according to Dave, absolutely horrible in, so of course she got the job. Jerry Borash is said to be unhappy over it, and there are people surprised that Jarrett didn't stand up for Borash on the move.
Ooh, drama!
Borash and Russo were tight in the WCW days, but had a falling out later. Borash is still doing on-air segments where they plug merchandise, but that's another negative, because Don West, who is doing that, is better in the role. So JV really catching the heat from every angle in this month.
It's very funny that they're like, everyone's like, what is happening? Why are we mixing it up in this facet?
Yeah, it's like, why did we bring this new woman to do the job of someone like JP? Very good backstage interviewer. I think it's his best role. So it's like, why are we bringing somebody in to take the job of somebody who does a good job, and then we give that guy the job of somebody who also does a better job? It's a musical chairs where everybody ends up doing something worse and everyone's kind of mad at each other. Mm-hmm. But listen, Letitia's work, and that's important.
Yeah, she has to fucking make some money.
Yeah. It's not like they fired JB. He still has a job.
Yeah, everyone's getting paid.
So during the show, LAX, they take out James Storm backstage with a ladder. They take out Chris Harris. They're choking him on some steps as Gail is screaming distressed. And then later in the show, they also take out Petey Williams as he's about to do an interview. He's jumped. LAX asks Angle how he'll do all by himself now that AMW and Petey and anyone who might help Kurt Angle have been taken out. So then we get the match.
You know what's funny about this again? It's like, at no point did they go, maybe we should try and take out Samoa Joe. The guy that we know is supposed to be backing him up.
They agreed very publicly last week that they should watch each other's back, so maybe we should add him to our hit list. Though it also might suggest that they also just fear him.
Yeah. Well, they thought that, like, Joe wouldn't actually do it.
They should have tried to recruit Joe into LAX.
But it's, well, that'd be one problem. But hey, I don't know.
So that does bring us to the main event. Kurt Angle versus LAX for the NWA World Tag Team titles. The match was supposed to be Angle and Petey, but starts as a handicap match because Petey was taken out before the break. Mike Tenay is furious that LAX are using their own system against them and availing of the legal system. We'll talk about that, but they are still NWA Tag Team Champions due to the legal system. And Mike Tenay does not like that they're getting due process.
Yeah.
Furious. How dare they critique our system and then use it? Disgusting.
Yeah. It's almost like as if the system is hypocritical.
It is like that meme. It's like, you criticize society, yet you take part in it. I'm very smart.
Yeah.
As LAX begin to take over, Samoa Joe arrives on the and steps on the apron, fulfilling his promise to watch Angle's back. Angle makes the tag, and Hebner just allows it. Earl is like, sure.
Again, it makes no sense. But, you know, they have lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
They will bring this up. Joe
runs wild. Joe locks in the coquina clutch. Angle locks in the ankle lock. As Jim Cornette appears at ringside and Earl Hebner calls for the bell, Conan and the LAX lawyer are there shouting at Jim Cornette. I love the idea that the second Joe appeared, Conan's like, let me get the lawyer.
Well, they have so much merit here. They're like, A, he was not a signed participant in this World Tag Team title bout.
Yep.
Also, you did a screw job.
Yeah.
So there's layers upon layers of a mistrial. Not a mistrial, but yes, a mistrial.
There is, I think, a conspiracy at this point from Jim Cornette to try and get these tag titles off these people who have earned them.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think that too.
The match is ruled a no contest due to Joe technically not contractually being in the match. Don, in my favorite call, is like, that's the right decision, but I'm mad because it would have been cool to have Angle Joe as tag champs.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt too.
Don is like, yeah, like listen, that's fair. Joe wasn't in the match, but I wanted him to win.
Also, because it was cool. For a second I thought they were tag champs, I was like, all right.
Yeah. Joe and Angle do shake hands as there is mutual respect because Joe fulfilled his promise, but they do not win the NWA World Tag Team titles. Homicide was apparently really upset when Angle popped his ear in the TV match.
Probably could just end the sentence there.
Homicide was really upset.
Yeah.
He was so mad he wanted to go right there, but he kept himself under control.
Well, that's good for his future job perspectives.
And listen, I think there's a large number of people Homicide could kick the ass of.
Yeah.
I think if there's a list of people Homicide could shoot on and Homicide would win, and that's a pretty big list. Kurt Angle's not on it.
Do you think he has the fork though?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope he comes out armed in every fight.
Who wins in a fight? Kurt Angle just using wrestling or Homicide with a fork?
I still think Angle with wrestling because I don't think the fork can do enough damage to stop a takedown.
Yeah, but you can get taken down with the fork in your hand and then just start fucking gouging.
But I think once Angle takes you down, he can control you enough to mitigate the fork.
I don't know. You don't need much.
If you were to say a knife, I would lean it more toward homicide. I just don't think the fork does enough like immediate damage to stop Angle from controlling your body.
Especially if he's aware of the fork.
Yes, if he does see the fork coming, if it's a stealth fork, he can unleash after he's been taken down. That's a different story because then he can use it with an element of stealth.
Mm-hmm. If he has it in the boot, you know.
That's our new T-shirt: Homicide with Fork versus Kurt Angle.
That's a cool shirt, to be fair.
The Go Home Impact, December 7th, we have a very big main event. It's kind of a crazy main event.
Like, on paper, yes.
In execution, less so. But the main event of this episode is Kurt Angle versus Abyss versus Rhino versus Samoa Joe versus Sting versus Christian Cage.
Which, again, on paper, sounds crazy.
It does sound like the biggest match you could possibly do without giving away singles matches.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier on that show, there was a feature on Angle Joe where that Angle goes in like the proper reasoning why he gives Joe a rematch. He talks about how there was a man from Iran, he does name them, I won't even try, that beat Kurt earlier in his career, and it would have haunted Kurt if he never got a chance to avenge that loss. It turned out that man from Iran was the man he faced in the finals of the Olympics. He beat him, he won his Olympic gold medal, he got his revenge, he got his vindication, he realized that, he was better, he had his mountain to overcome, and if he didn't have that opportunity, it would have haunted him. He sees that in Samoa Joe. Kurt Angle is Joe's Iranian wrestler, so in order to give Joe that chance, he will give him the rematch. Which I thought, yeah, that's a really good rationale for why Angle changed his mind on this, compared to the watch my back and you can have it kind of thing.
You know what, though? I think I don't mind it being a thing that is told retrospectively.
Yeah.
Because, you don't necessarily need to know Kurt's motivations for why he does give Joe the rematch in the moment. But it is nice to, have that, established afterwards.
Yeah. And certainly better than them not doing it at all.
Yeah.
I love Kurt in this promo, by the way, because Kurt is like, is there fear inside me? Yes. Will I lose sleep over this? Yes. Samoa Joe is a fucking killer, and I'm scared. But that's when I'm at my best.
It's the Kurt character is very interesting.
Yeah.
Because, he isn't just, a fearless warrior taking down everyone. He is, a man.
Yeah.
He is a man with fear, realizing that he has a challenge to overcome.
And it would be so easy for somebody like him to come in and big dog Samoa Joe. It'd be like, oh, I'm the biggest star in the world. Joe has to beat me to prove something. As opposed to he comes in and is like, I'm scared shitless of this guy. Have you fucking seen him? Where I will still beat him, though. Joe talks about how Angle took his reputation, and Angle states, win, lose, or draw, this will be my last match with Samoa Joe.
Well.
So we get to that main event. Rhino doesn't even make it in the match because of a thing with AJ we'll talk about in a minute. It gets to the finish. Abyss hits the shock treatment on Angle, but Joe makes the save. Tomko boots Joe as he does the muscle buster to Christian. Angle breaks it up. Angle checks on Joe and then hits him with an Olympic slam and pins him. So their deal to watch each other's back may not have extended to this competitive match, to be fair. There are opponents in this match.
Well, yeah, they should technically they shouldn't have, because this is just a match where they're competing against each other. But it is also interesting that it's Kurt that takes the opportunity,
And Joe made the save when he got shock treatment. Joe was on Angle's side, he fulfilled that promise, but Angle's like, fuck you, I'm gonna win the match.
Yeah, so it's there are little signs of Kurt being a little slimy bitch.
And this does firmly enter the era in which Samoa Joe is now just beatable.
Yeah. But so far he's been beaten either by Kurt and through bullshit.
Yep. He won't remain an unbeatable monster anymore. Which is it's the biggest critique of the pivot out of an undefeated streak, where he went undefeated for 18 months and now he will just whenever you need him to get beaten, he can be beaten on TV. It becomes oh, we can just beat Joe now, so we just do, instead of we should really remain very thoughtful about how and when we beat Samoa Joe.
At least for the foreseeable future. There's obviously going to be a time where it is just that way, unless someone is a part-timer. Because you simply cannot just have a guy who never gets beaten forever. It just doesn't work. If they're going to be on TV every week in some capacity, there is no story being told then. But you can definitely still sort of play that line a little bit longer.
Certainly not 2 weeks later on TV he should be beaten again.
But I guess for the case of this story, it does make sense that at least it's Kurt and it's not clean.
Yeah, and he is being fucked over in a way.
Yeah.
So that brings us to Turning Point, 2006, December 10th, from the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida, in which the main event, once again, overcoming the NWA World Title match, is Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe. Before the match, JB has Angle. He promises, once again, this will be his last match with Samoa Joe. And after tonight, people are going to know for sure who the better wrestler is.
And they did.
Yep. Samoa Joe defeats Kurt Angle in the rematch. The capital letters underscore rematch is how it's built.
I really like this match. I think it's a little weird at the start. It's a little kind of maybe just off kilter because like the crowd isn't as like molten immediately. They do get there, but I really love how like just grimy and filthy and real like this match feels. It really does just feel like a proper professional wrestling match in a way that isn't really seen in especially like a WWE at this time, but even especially in a TNA in this time. It's not something you really see either. It feels something more akin to like a New Japan or a Noah or a Ring of Honor match taking place.
Yeah, it's a match where, like, the physicality of the wrestling is, like, the core of what they're doing. Like, everything is about, as you said, grimy just wrestling. They're throwing each other and they're doing holds and they're getting down on the mat. Like, Angle does a slingshot crossbody in this match that is, like, beautiful in how ungraceful it is.
Yeah. But, like, it doesn't need to be, like, graceful, because it's a man just flinging himself.
Yeah, it's what a slingshot crossbody should be, which is, like, as you said, just throwing your body at the other man with a reckless abandon.
How tall is Kurt?
I think Kurt's, like, 6'1", right? He's in that range. That's how tall Kurt is in my head.
He is 6 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, okay, so... he's 6 foot in... Apparently, he's 5'9", 5'10", 6 foot in wrestling height.
Yes. He's gimmick height.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's closest to around 5'10". So, basically, I mog him and could beat him. Because I'm taller.
Oh, you're right. You could beat anybody smaller than you?
Yes.
Only if you have a fork, though.
Samoa Joe height.
I love trying to ascertain wrestler heights because it's such a minefield of bullshit.
I'm subtracting a couple inches.
Yeah.
Because like Joe is billed at 6'3", so he's probably 6 foot.
Yeah, that feels a little tall. He is probably like 6 foot 6'1".
Yeah.
So I think he's slightly taller than Kurt, right?
Yeah. Wikipedia says 6 foot.
All right. So you can beat him too?
Yeah.
Less confident though.
Yeah.
Interesting. You're more confident that you can beat the man who's not an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, but because he's like 68 and dead.
That's true, and he has numbness in his hands, so that does limit his amateur wrestling skill.
Like, he probably, like, you know, he could throw me around a little bit, but I feel like I can outlast him.
Your youthful dexterity.
And I'll gouge his fucking eyes out.
You have no qualms about fighting dirty.
I gotta do what you gotta do.
Especially if it's a street fight. If it's a street fight, just whatever happens, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no one should ever try to fight me because, like, you will win. I'm not, like, a good fighter. But I will do some permanent damage to you in how dirty I will fight.
Yeah.
Like, you may go blind.
You go. That's a bold claim.
Well, I'm going to put my thumb as deep into your eye socket as possible.
You're gonna claw that shit out?
Yeah. I will do whatever is necessary. I don't want to be hurt.
That's fair.
I'll bite you in places. I'll tear shit off. I'm gonna, like, remove skin.
Scratch. Grow your nails out expressly for this situation.
Takes, man.
Angle Joe.
Yeah.
I love there's a spot in this match where Joe's against the ropes. Angle's against the ropes and Joe goes for a clothesline and Angle ducks. And Joe just connects, like, neck first with the top rope.
Yeah, it's something you don't really see very often.
It looks disgusting and great.
Because he doesn't, like, bounce. He just, like, gets caught.
He just hits it, and it doesn't move.
Yeah.
It's where Excalibur would start talking about how they're high-tension cables.
It's true. That a rope is actually a misnomer.
Ooh. Angle, which is true of TNA's ring as well, by the way. Not WWE's. WWE's is a rope.
Is that true?
Yeah, WWE still... I realize maybe they've changed it, but WWE historically has still used ropes. TNA and AEW have already been high-tension cables. But WWE might have changed it. That might not be true now anymore. I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think if I've ever... I don't know. I think they've always been taped.
Yeah, so it's tough to tell.
So I think they're ropes but taped.
Angle does a full flip bump on a Joe German. Angle hits the Olympic Slam for 2. A bunch of ankle lock counters, coquina clutch counters. Angle grabs the ankle to escape the coquina clutch and then grapevinds it, but after a minute, Joe reaches the rope. Angle drops Joe with the run up the ropes belly to belly. The ref is bumped. Joe gets a visual submission on Angle. Angle low blows Samoa Joe, goes for a chair, swings, misses, chair rebounds off the ropes, hits Angle in the face. Joe gets Angle in the coquina clutch. Angle looks to go for the ankle again as his escape, but Joe crosses the legs, cuts that off. Angle taps out. Crowd go wild. Samoa Joe defeats
I really
Kurt
like
Angle.
Joe, not falling for the same escape twice.
Yep.
I think it's a really good finish.
There's a bunch of little things in that I really like. That is the first one that Joe learned that Angle hasn't escaped the coquina clutch through the ankle lock. So if you cut that off by crossing your legs, and they did a really good story. They told that story in the moment very well as well, where Kurt started going for it and Joe had it scouted, really well executed. And the other is I really like that Angle only started cheating after Joe got to the ropes on the grapevine, because
yeah, he's like, oh shit, I have nothing left.
That's Angle's burning hammer. Grapevine means Angle wins 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
So when he got the grapevine on the ankle and Joe got to the ropes, that's when Kurt starts to panic, because he's unleashed the Olympic Slam, he's unleashed the ankle lock, he's done his quote-unquote death move, and Joe is still coming. So that's the point at which, low blow, steel chair, Angle, all bets are off. I'm going to do this by any means.
Yeah.
And I like the extra pressure, I guess, that is placed on this being the last match by your word. If he wins, he has no reason to pursue a rematch. He can smugly be like, I beat you twice, I'm out of here. Yeah. Whereas if you say this is the last time we're ever wrestling and then you lose,
it's like, shit, maybe I have to go back on my word here,
Yeah, so there's an extra pressure, an extra desperation. So I think all of that works really well for the finish of this match and the storytelling of this match. And as you said, the actual work of this match is just Joe and Angle getting down and dirty, grimy wrestling. And yeah, really, I think it's as good as the match before. They're good in different ways, which I think is fun.
Yeah.
The first one is your more standard, where Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe, and it's kind of the aura match, where it's just holy shit, this match is happening. And then this match is more your kind of grimy work ratey match with some more storytelling aspects filtered in. So 2 very good Kurt Angle Samoa Joe matches for 2 very good reasons so far.
Both extremely worth watching.
Kurt Angle's wife was at the pay-per-view, and she did nothing to offset her reputation for being, quote, one of the reasons Kurt Angle has gone crazy, quote, over the years. She was outspoken backstage about a variety of things. 5 years ago, she spoke out in an internet posting about RVD stiffing her husband in the ring, saying it wasn't professional. Ironic, considering Samoa Joe looked pretty beat up after the pay-per-view match with Angle on Sunday. Angle was potatoing him pretty hard during their pay-per-view match. Joe's tough, but observers thought he might be getting a little ticked off about it.
Okay, you say that Homicide could Samoa Joe.
He's bigger, so Angle would have a harder time taking him down.
Mm-hmm.
I would still back Angle. He's a shoot Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
Even in his broken, weird state at this point, I do think he could beat most non-professionally trained fighters.
Yeah.
Though Joe has done some MMA training, so maybe that'll stand to him a little bit. I don't know.
I think it depends, how much of a hit he can get in.
Yeah. And there is the question, I think Samoa Joe is cool and comes across as tough in a professional wrestling context.
Yes.
I have no idea if he's actually tough at a fight. I have no idea. I don't think he's gotten into many of them.
Yeah.
So he might not actually be able to go in an actual fight.
In wrestling, you seem like the toughest bloke of all time, but
who knows what would happen if you were actually to fight someone who knows how to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
The decision regarding passing out or tapping out was debated internally, and it went back and forth, but they ultimately decided that Kurt should tap out, which Dave disagreed with, and I disagree with Dave.
I don't think either one matters. To me, I guess it just comes from having watched a lot of MMA and fighting growing up. It was it doesn't matter how you get it, you still get it. It's someone passing out isn't any less a loss than someone tapping out. It's just how it goes. They're essentially the same thing. They are all tapping, because tapping out in a real fighting context, it's you're doing it because you have no choice. You will be permanently injured if you don't, and you pass out because you have no choice. You're just gone, They're both a sign of just not having anything left. Like, to me, I never really saw the difference between the two. I can kind of understand it, like, from a visual storytelling perspective, but, like, it's never been something that I've cared about one way or the other.
Yeah, because I guess the wrestling storytelling thing is, like, tapping out is seen as, like, an act of cowardice. You know, you're giving up.
Yeah, it's seen as, like, giving up, but it's, like, in any real fighting situation, it is, like, it's not at all. It's not, like, a shameful thing to be like, I'm going to break my arm right now, you know?
Yeah. Whereas passing out is, like, the act of defiance and courage. But, as you said, in any real fighting
stupidity.
contest, it's dumb. You're dumb not to tap out if you're a fucking god. Especially in, like, the case of the Angle one here, where he does go for the ankle and lose it, and then he knows he's fucked. He's just in the guy's choke. So he taps out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. I can see the storytelling. Like, it has a storytelling device too.
It is certain, and like AEW is a company that is obsessed with the pass out.
But again, I don't mind it. Like, if it's not like because half of like fighting finishes are fucking passing out.
Yep.
That's what happens when you get choked real hard.
It does suck.
Yeah, you go out.
The NWA World Title match this month is somewhat a continuation of the Sting Abyss stuff, as those two men are involved. We had a third, Christian Cage.
But he's kind of been involved tangentially even through the last month.
That's true. Even when he was like doing a pay-per-view program with AJ while also involved
with
the
Rhino.
AJ
thing felt like out of place because it was still the Sting thing, you know?
Yeah, because he was doing two separate things. He was doing AJ, he was doing Rhino, while the more important thing he was kind of really doing was the Sting thing.
Yeah, because he wanted to get the shot.
November 23rd, Impact. Abyss, the new NWA World Champion, opens the show, enters the Impact Zone. James Mitchell says he stands before you like a proud father with the new NWA Champion. Says to Sting, it's better to laugh with the sinners than cry with the saints. Despite all Sting's preaching, he's no different from Mitchell and Abyss. Asks Sting to be honest that he got into wrestling to wallow in all of its pleasures, just like the rest of us. The crowd then chant, "We want Sting." He invites Sting to come home for good. Sting's music hits as a man that definitely looks like Sting hits the ring. He runs off Abyss with the bat and reveals, oh my god, it's not Sting, it's Christian Cage.
There was a part of me I was like, yeah, Sting doesn't normally dress like this. I was like, is he doing a new thing?
Sting has decided to drip himself out in the latest 2006 attire.
Yeah, good on him.
Christian asks if this is what he has to do to get a title shot around here. He refers to Abyss as the mass or word. Not the first time he will this month.
And you've been saying it all week now.
Listen, you're the phased watcher around here, so don't you dare throw that at me.
I'm just saying, ever since you watched this show.
Christian suggests he's going to take Sting out to take his rematch. Sting descends from the rafters onto the announce desk. Sting says he's going to get his rematch and he'll happily go through Christian tonight, so says, see you later tonight. Christian demands Sting put his number one contender shot on the line. Sting says it's showtime as we crash to the opening titles, which is presumably accepting.
I would assume, because showtime implies action.
I do love a crash to opening titles. I do love like an opening segment. Yeah, we'll go do Sting, a Christian, world title on the line, main event, a world title shot on the line. And then you get the opening titles. It's like, that's TV. That's TV, baby.
That's TV, baby.
So main event for the first time ever, free on television, Sting and Christian.
Kinda crazy.
Yeah, they're just throwing shit out. That like TNA is very conservative about what they put on television as TV main events. They've been very conservative.
I think every promotion is.
And too conservative, would you say?
Yes. I think every promotion inherently is, except WWE, because they don't give a fuck. I think it's a part of, it comes down to sometimes how many quote-unquote stars you believe you have.
Yeah.
That, like, you're less than willing to, like, do big star versus star matches on TV. But, like, my thing is always, like, it's TV. You don't have to have clean finishes. You know, you can have big, like, matches with stars in them and then do bullshit and not lose anything. As long as your pay-per-views are, like, more protected.
Like, I do understand the appeal of being like, let's save the first Christian Sting match for pay-per-view. I don't think, like, I think we overrate the meaning of first-time ever matches.
I don't think, like, a first-time ever match is inherently a big deal.
Yeah.
I think it's up to you to make it feel like a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, you can throw something... Like, the downside is we actually never get a proper Sting-Christian match. We get another TV match in 2007, and that's it. That's the two singles matches. Like, that's the problem is we ultimately never get this on pay-per-view. But...
Yeah.
I think we get too precious about like, well, we've got to protect that match for when we do it down the line. Whereas I think you can do it now and do it down the line, and it'll still mean as much if you do it well.
Yeah. I don't think, like, just because people have wrestled once before, it ever, like, it doesn't kill the idea of the match necessarily.
Yep. Sting stalks Christian down to the ring during his entrance and jumps him to start the match. Jim Cornette joins commentary. Tenay says that LAX will defend the tag titles against Kurt Angle and PD next week. That's where they announced that here. Sting fires up, and him beating Christian's ass is very enjoyable. I really like the Sting comeback and Christian just like bumping around. We didn't talk about it in the fucking humongous main event too, but there was an Angle and Christian segment that was very similar in that match too.
Yeah, Christian is... You know, he's such a great, like, backing off, like, shithead heel.
Mm-hmm. And when you get, like, stars of the caliber of Angle and Sting just beating his ass, it's very satisfying.
Especially, like, an all-time babyface like Sting.
Yep. Ref gets bumped. Christian rakes Sting's eyes. Sting reverses the Unprettier into the Scorpion Death Drop and locks in the Deathlock. Christian taps, but there is no referee to see it. A hooded man emerges from the crowd. He attacks Sting and reveals himself to be the debuting Tyson Tomko.
Fuck yes!
Tomko is here.
Childhood.
Tomko, give me a beat.
I'm very excited. I'm excited to see Tyson Tomko, and I'm excited to see him with Christian. And also, it means we're very close to AJ.
Yes, we're Christian Coalition is imminent. Tomko, like, this is like, I think people forget what a kind of what if Tomko was at this point. Because, like, he gets over at one point as a singles guy. He's doing great work in New Japan with Giant Bernard as, like, the original Bernard and Anderson team. Like, that it's the same thing. They've basically changed Tomko for Carl Anderson. He's doing really good work as, like, a career renaissance outside of WWE, kind of proving that he's not just, like, your stock WWE big man who has no value by himself.
Yeah, like the Terminal 2004 guy.
Yeah, I always, he's much later. Mason Ryan is always my example of like...
I always think of like, just like anyone that was in La Resistance.
Yeah, Rob Conway.
Like just Rene Dupree, Rob Conway.
Sylvain like, Grenier.
Exactly, just all these like big jacked up dickheads, you know?
So Tomko drops Sting with a press slam into a fallaway slam. One of my favorite moves. It always looks great when you just drop him down out of the press into the fallaway. Cornette enforces that Tomko doesn't work here as Tomko drops Sting with an Argentine neckbreaker and we go off the air. Tomko has arrived in TNA.
I'm excited, man. I like Tomko.
I'm excited for Christian Coalition stuff because, as I said, like this is an era of TNA I have not rewatched. Like this is the year I started watching, so like basically everything from now on, bar like little bits and bobs, because I haven't done rewatches of TNA from after 2007. So like I haven't watched this stuff in 18 years in its completion, rather than popping in and out for like social clips and stuff from individual shows. So I'm excited to watch all like the Christian Coalition stuff again.
Yeah, like this is sort of an era of TNA you just remember, you know?
Yep. Christian Cage has been pushing hard for TNA to bring in Travis Tomko from just about the time Christian started. The idea had always been for 2006 that Christian would win the title, turn heel on Sting, and it would lead to them meeting at the December pay-per-view where Sting would get the title if he was staying, or put over Christian if he wasn't. That changed greatly through the year as Jeff Jarrett changed plans, as he always does. It became about Jarrett instead of Christian, but he had pushed that when he did turn, Tomko would join him. So this has been in the works for a while.
It's crazy that he just does New Japan and TNA at the same time.
Yeah, that becomes an issue eventually, but yep.
He really does just bounce back and forth a lot.
Yeah, because like TNA and New Japan are obviously in bed with each other at this point. You had New Japan guys for the World X Cup back in May, and TNA guys will regularly work New Japan, including the Dome shows for the next 4 or 5 years or so. So like... It makes sense. There's a natural crossover there at the moment. But yeah, he just works TNA New Japan full-time.
They never did anything with Bernard.
It feels like... It's funny that like he has an established, well-known US tag team partner. You know, like Albert is a name guy in America. So the idea that like, let's make Tomko's tag team partner... AJ Styles. It is funny. They're like, we're doing a tag team with them, but we're not going to pluck it's not like it's Manabu Nakanishi, you know? It's not like you're plucking some random Japanese guy. It's like a guy with WWE experience, and you're like, AJ.
Maybe it was just the thing. I mean, it seems like this was kind of the plan, the coalition thing, because with the AJ turn already being like firmly established at this point.
It does seem like stuff is lining up. They're telling stories.
I love stories.
Following week's Impact, Christian Cage comes to the ring with Tomko. Mike Tenay says it will be Abyss versus Sting versus Christian in a three-way match for the title at Turning Point, because technically Tomko's interference caused that Christian-Sting match last week to end in a no contest. So Christian has been rewarded for that with an NWA World title match.
Because the good guys and the medium guy want to kick the shit out of him.
So Christian formally introduces Tomko to TNA. Christian says he's undefeated, the biggest star in TNA. Maybe it'll be a single threat match because he plans to take out both Abyss and Sting before Turning Point. I'm not sure how that works. Would he have to pin himself?
It's wordplay. Don't question it.
Christian alludes to some previously unknown connection between Tomko and Abyss. Tomko apparently knows something about Abyss.
What could it be? Perhaps he is another one of Abyss's many brothers.
That's true. He's a park. Christian refers to Abyss as a slobbering word. Twice this month.
You just don't expect it, you know?
You don't. You really don't.
It's like, I mean, like, it is just like looking back on things with 20-25 eyes, but like you would just be watching something and then just be, oh.
Yeah, especially from Christian. I was like, there's people I might expect that from in 2016 TNA. Christian's probably not really one of them.
BG James.
Yeah, BG James could say any shit and I would be like, yep, it's BG James.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Mitchell holds back Abyss as Christian wants him to come down, so Mitchell's the smart man. A Sting dummy descends from the rafters. A Sting looks to jump Christian and Tomko from behind. It was a distraction. Sting wants to talk to Abyss man-to-man, face-to-face later tonight, but asks Abyss to come alone.
It's so funny that, like, we have to split this segment up to two things on this show. Just fucking have the conversation now.
Yeah, it's like, everyone leave. I want to talk to Abyss.
Why do we have to do the fucking let's talk later bullshit?
It's a hook, you see, to get people to stay watching. Which is probably the idea. It is legitimately probably. We'll do that opening segment to be like, hang around. The Thing wants to talk to Abyss man to man.
But who is that like for? Who is in there like, oh fuck, I need to make sure I'm still here to see the Sting Abyss talking segment?
I've heard clips of the Ariel Helwani Vince Russo interview, and based on that, I think it's for the casual fan. That wrestling is apparently not serving anymore.
Okay. Let me tell you what, I couldn't give a flying fuck about the casual fan. The casual fan can go fuck off.
There was a Brian Alvarez quote this week where, like, Tony books wrestling that he likes, and I'm like, the dude is a billionaire doing a vanity project. What the fuck would be the point of him booking wrestling he doesn't like?
But, like, isn't the old adage, like, you should make things you like, because then other people might like them?
That was the Jerry Jarrett idea, yeah. That, like,
if you're serving one person, you might be serving some other people, you know?
Yeah. Presumably there are wrestling fans that are the same kind of wrestling fan as you out there. You're not an isolated, like, outlier.
I don't know, man. Fuck it. Like, AEW's best television of the year is the fucking Continental Classic when it's just 6 fucking matches between guys.
And this is, like, if you were a billionaire launching hundreds of millions into the startup of a wrestling company, what the fuck is the point of you being like, and I'm going to use that money to produce wrestling I personally don't like? What the fuck is that thought process?
But also, I also think it's, like, incredibly stupid to, like, think that the casual fan, like, expects one certain thing. As if there isn't just, like, people who can watch something and then appreciate it or like it or find enjoyment out of it. Like, it can't just be wrestling for some reason. It's like it has to be a skit or some bullshit. Like, why do they think people just won't enjoy the wrestling part of wrestling?
We also think this casual fan is the dumbest person alive at all times.
Well, they think the casual fan is fucking them.
Yeah.
They think it's them. They think it's, oh, you know, you have to do fucking television. You have to do cinema. And it's like, the thing that's going to stand out to them is the dudes beating the shit out of each other because they don't actually see that on anything else. You're not going to tell better stories than what's on TV. You're not going to do better comedy than what's on TV. So, like, there's places for it, obviously, on a wrestling show, because, ironically, the people that kind of stuff serves is the people who are watching every week who will get bored of the same shit, not the new people who have never seen wrestling before. Just show them fucking wrestling!
Yeah. It's a thing that drives me crazy. About...
Have you never watched pro wrestling with someone who has never seen it before? Like, because it's so fucking, like, easy to see the things that stand out to them, which are, and fucking block your ears if you're a fucking 40-year vet in this industry, it's fucking flips and blood, motherfucker! They're the two things that people who have never seen wrestling before get, like, enamored with, because it's something they can't see in anything else.
There's a reason, like, Ninja Mac doing that fucking black split spot in the Best of the Super Juniors goes more viral than your Bloodline cinema.
Yeah, it's like the reason, like, if you ever watch a show and they're like, whoa, who is this Will Ospreay guy? Mm-hmm. You know? Who is this Darby Allin? Like, or they see Mox and they bleed and they're like, what the fuck is this? Is this allowed?
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's so insane to be like, yeah, the boring, annoying, lame parts of wrestling are the thing that's gonna get people in there. I truly don't, like, the thing that I don't understand is, like how has no one ever watched wrestling with a non-wrestling fan? Because that's the easiest way to see what fucking resonates with them.
And, like, here's the thing, they haven't. That's the problem.
Then stop fucking using them as an example, because you don't know.
Yeah.
You clearly don't.
All of these people have been living in their same podcast bubble for 20, 30 years, never getting outside of it. Their vision of wrestling is so much more broken into them by Vince McMahon than they even know themselves. They're so, like, corrupted by Vince's vision that they, like, if they see it done any other way, they don't even know why they're rejecting it, other than they don't realize that they've been incepted by Vince's wrestling by a monopoly for 20 years. And the thing that drives me crazy is, like, they always talk about what somebody else might have thought. You know, somebody else might have been confused by this story. Somebody else might not have liked this or that. It's like, fucker, if I'm watching a review of something, I want to know what you think. What was your reaction?
But they don't ever have one, though.
That's the thing. They're fucking hacks. They can't think critically about stories. They can't assess these things in interesting, thoughtful ways. So they always have to invent another person out there who might have been confused or who might not have liked it, because that's how they can approach the criticism, rather than like, what was my personal response to this piece of art? What was my personal response to this story? Which is the reason, like, when we're talking about this kind of stuff a lot, I'm like, by the letter of the law, wrestling booking says you should do X, Y, Z. But, like, how did I feel? What was my reaction? When I was watching Full Gear, I saw a lot of people say, well, you shouldn't put Moxley and Kyle back to back with Fletcher and Briscoe. Which is like one of those things that you're like, oh, well, wrestling booking 101, if you were to write it in a textbook, would say, don't put the two hardcore matches back to back. And then I would simply ask, in practice, what was the negative effect? Was the crowd noticeably worse? I think the crowd was about the same as it was for the whole show for those matches. Maybe a little better for those matches than it was the whole show. Arguably, the crowd was a little better for Kyle Briscoe than it was for Kyle and Mox. So, in theory, that should be flipped by the wrestling, like, logic. The matches, while they were based on, like, violence and plunder, they were very different kinds of violence and plunder. Mox and Kyle was a lot more grounded, gritty, no holds barred style, and Briscoe and Kyle was...
even, like, if you do want to have the opinion of, like, oh, putting them back to back was a mistake, like, I think you can have that opinion after you've watched them.
Yeah, and then you
when
explain
you've
why.
Seen the content of both matches. But when, like, you have a knee-jerk reaction to being, like, during the entrances and going, what are they doing? They don't know what they're doing. They're putting on two, like, in a row. It's like, well, you don't know, do you? You don't know what the match is going to be about. You don't know how it's going to be presented comparably between the two.
And there might be even a thematic reason why you decide to present them back to back. Who knows? Like, there might be a storytelling reason why you're like, I think these two matches work as a couplet. It's like, it drives me crazy that we approach so much wrestling criticism from either like a philosophical way that we don't even really understand why, or from the perspective of someone we don't know, an imaginary person we don't know that we've invented in our head.
An imaginary person who we've invented in our heads, who magically will always back up the opinion I'm trying to display.
Yes. It's funny how that works, isn't it?
And it's like, again, if you have you have a real person next to you who you're watching it, who's watching wrestling for the first time, and they have these opinions, then sure, it's a valid reason to bring it up, you know? It's going to be, at least, it's going to have some meaning, you know? But when it's just nothing, it makes no sense. It's like, who cares? You're like... You're lamenting something that doesn't exist.
Yes. Instead of saying, what did you think of the match? What did you think of the characters? What did you think of the story? How did it make you feel? That's what I want to know from a review. I don't want to know, well, somebody else might have thought this was confusing. What's that fucking useful for?
Yeah.
Later in the show, Sting comes out for a conversation with Abyss.
I think someone might have been confused that this segment was happening because they didn't see the first part of it.
Yeah, what if you only tuned in halfway through the show and you have no idea why Sting is talking? Why didn't they play a video package right beforehand to recap what happened?
That's true. Video package would have solved this.
Abyss follows alone, no James Mitchell. Sting has a chair for Abyss. Abyss doesn't take the chair. Sting hypes Abyss up about how he's a great athlete and a champion, but then asks, why do you let Mitchell lead you around? Is he looking for someone to lead him out of the torment and pain he's in 24/7? This causes Abyss to take the chair.
Damn, he had to really reflect upon this.
Or does Abyss want to be his own champion and his own man now? He then leans in and he calls Abyss Chris. It's Chris Abyss.
It's Abyss Christopher.
We get his shoot name for the first time. He is named Chris. Which, usually I have a problem with them doing shoot names like that.
But when it's like a monster character?
When he's like an unknown guy behind a mask called Abyss, I'm like, all right, I understand. I know what you're going for here. As opposed to like, the thing here is not that like, ooh, it's Insider. I know you're... It's like, oh, you're trying to connect with them as a human because you're trying to connect with the human, not the monster. So good, thumbs up.
It's like if like he was doing the same segment because she's like, okay, Will.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, what do you want from him, man?
Abyss looked up when Sting called him Chris. Mitchell appears on the Tron and calls Abyss an animal. Abyss like reaches out longingly to Mitchell when he appears on the Tron and then clutches the NWA title, which I thought was like some really good physical drama from Abyss.
Yeah. And again, like we're not saying like dramatic tension and storytelling in wrestling is bad. It can be good.
Yes, most people just do it badly.
I just think that, like, if you want to take this show for example, it's like, it's the first time watching, I don't think they're going to care about, like, Abyss longingly grasping the title or looking towards Mitchell more than they're going to care about, like, them swinging chairs.
Yep.
I think one of those things will resonate more than the other for the quote-unquote casual fan.
Yeah, that's it. If this is the first segment you've ever watched, you're not going to be like, oh, that was a really good, like, bit of nuanced character work from Abyss. You're not going to understand it.
That's what I find interesting about, like, that whole sort of talking point that we hear. It's like, I feel like all of the points that you make are like, these are like parts of the show that are good and are useful, but I feel like they serve the long-standing fan more than they do a theoretical casual fan.
Mitchell says before Sting starts trying to save souls, he suggests Sting starts with his own. Sting encourages Abyss to make his own choices and leaves. Christian and Tomko jump Abyss. Tomko drops Abyss with the Argentine neckbreaker, which is very impressive. That's the torture rack into a neckbreaker move, which is awesome again. Another great big man move, and even better doing it on a guy the size of Abyss. Before Sting comes back in to run them off. Sting offers Abyss a hand. Abyss looks conflicted as Mitchell comes out and slaps Sting before leading Abyss away.
Well, but like, think about the fan who doesn't know that Sting was a horrible drug addict in the 90s.
Yes, you're like, why are they talking about how Sting, the ultimate babyface, who was presented as like the heroic Avenger character for his entire career, is like, oh, you love the allure of the inside of wrestling, don't you, Sting? That makes no sense to them. But we do not care about casual fans.
No, I'm gonna stop barking about it now because it's gonna become repetitive and annoying. But like, it is just, I don't know. Why do we like even let this be? I guess I'm sick of wrestling's talking points being the same 5 fucking things as it has been for like a decade now. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, I wish we could just like analyze these shows with artistic merit instead of like useless, benign bullshit.
And it's a thing like going back and reading all of these torches and all of these observers. It's like same shit. It's just, and it's not like the wrestling is different.
Like, it's just different fucking buzz like words and different phrases.
Because we don't have like good, interesting critics of wrestling and interesting people who think about wrestling on a level deeper than what if somebody in Iowa was confused. Go Home Impact. We have a video feature in which Mitchell, Christian, and Sting discuss Abyss. Tomko knows a secret. Sting sees a human being in there, and Mitchell thinks Sting and an army of angels couldn't take Abyss.
which I think is a good line.
Later in the show, Cornette's in the ring. He makes a couple of matches official for the pay-per-view before Christian interrupts him. Jim seems to be busy preventing people's First Amendment rights lately, that he's not doing his job, says Christian. Suggests there's something in Abyss's background that would make Jim Cornette's stomach churn. Christian goes on to tell Abyss's story, but Abyss hits the ring and runs wild. Tomko drops Abyss with a boot, and they beat on Abyss until Sting makes the save. Sting, once again, offers a hand to Abyss. Abyss accepts it and pulls him into a black hole slam.
That's a good bit.
It's the second time he did that. He did that to Jarrett last year in like the King of the Mountain build, if you remember, when they were trying to recruit him. It's always a great spot to be like, handshake, black hole slam.
Nah. Actually, I know what Abyss did.
What do you think Abyss did?
I know what it was.
What was it?
See, he went to prom, right?
Yeah.
And he was driving home, and there was this girl in the front seat with him. She started giving him roadhead. And then he crashed the car. Yeah, and then what he did was he just got out of that car and he fucking left.
No.
Yep. And then he started hanging out with Cody Rhodes.
Right.
And you won't believe what happens next.
What happens next?
But he turns on Cody Rhodes.
What?
And then brings this guy called Wardlow in. Yeah. And boy, does that go places.
This is war.
Wardlow vs. Abyss would have been perfect.
I forgot about that story.
The closest thing AEW's gotten to a Katie Vick angle.
I like how that's just fucking AEW canon now, by the way.
Yeah, MJF got roadhead and almost killed a woman.
Yeah, it's just, and now he was a babyface afterwards.
Like pretty quickly afterwards, wasn't it? Wasn't like that wasn't too far off the turn.
Yeah, that's so funny. How does Tomko know about this is the question.
Well, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually a first responder.
Oh, good. That's nice.
Yeah, he was an ambulance driver in Long Island, New York.
You saw MJF run away.
saw
Sorry,
Abyss.
Abyss. Oh, sorry. I'm mixing up stories.
What's Tyson Tomko up to?
I think he's had a rough run of it.
Oh,
He had a rough stretch post TNA because he did that TNA return in like 2009, 2010 when they were doing like the story where he was attacking AJ that got dropped when Hogan came in, and then he kind of I think he had a tough time after that, but he seems to be doing okay now, I think.
his last match was in 2013.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's not great.
In the toilet story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, seems he has some businesses. So hopefully that's going well for him.
I hope his life is going okay after that.
I truly wish nothing but the best for Tyson Tomko.
Shout out to my boy.
Does he have like a Twitter?
I think he has an Instagram. Because the anniversary of his debut was actually like last week. I can tell you when it was. It was on these shows. I have the date in front of me. November 23rd. So yeah, it was last week.
Travis Tomko Real. He's got a nice beard.
Right.
All right. Let me deep dive into Tyson Tomko.
And his Instagram. See what's happening.
He went with Post Malone.
Oh.
That's not good for him.
Enjoying culture.
Yeah, I don't know. Doing some stuff. He's living a regular life fishing. So I hope he's doing well.
It is the dream.
Yeah, good on you, Tyson Tomko.
Not even 50 yet, which is crazy.
Yeah, I hope you are content in this world.
That is all we can ask for.
If you want to come on the podcast and talk about TNA, feel free.
Yeah, open door for Tomko.
Invitation. We are big Tomko heads.
The main event of this Impact is the 6-way match that did have Abyss, Sting, and Christian all in it. So that was your pay-per-view go-home segment as well.
We call it the Tom Coalition here.
Yeah, we don't respect Christian Cage. It's better wordplay. Tom Coalition's better wordplay.
A little forced.
That brings us to Turning Point, in which Abyss defeats Sting and Christian Cage to retain the NWA World title.
This wasn't an awful match.
I liked it. I thought it was well worked. There's a little bit of clumsiness here and there, but these are three good heavyweight wrestlers having a pretty good heavyweight title match.
Yeah, felt bad that they got cut by Joe and Angle again.
Yeah, second month in a row that they're put behind Angle Joe. And the first month you do get it. It's Angle Joe first time. This is the month where the title match could have went on last.
Yeah.
JB has Christian before the match. Christian mocks the idea that Abyss is a man. This isn't about saving souls. This is about Christian. He wants to regain something he never lost. Tomko knows Abyss's dirty secret. They don't want to reveal it because it's embarrassing. But maybe, just maybe, if Christian doesn't leave as NWA champ, they'll have to say it.
Wow. It's just, I like it's just embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's not like like life changing or anything. It's not going to like ruin him. It's just like somewhat uncomfortable to be out there.
Well, he was suggesting to Cornette it's the kind of reason that would have required dismissal, and now he's like down to like, it's actually, it's just, it's a little awkward.
Maybe he's implying it's embarrassing for the company. Which would imply that it is something more nefarious.
But I thought Abyss was birthed from a portal back in 2003.
Yeah. Maybe he killed Lollipop.
Do you think Goldilocks knew the secret?
Yes, because she knows all.
She does. She's very smart.
Yeah. Lollipop? Fuck, I keep saying Lollipop when I mean Goldilocks. Goldilocks.
But maybe he did kill Lollipop.
Yeah, as I was thinking, but like I was like, Goldilocks would be perfect for the Christian Coalition.
She should be in it, especially as like the movie star Goldilocks character.
Yeah.
The darling.
She was doing Timeless Tony Storm before Tony.
That's the realization I just had. Did Timeless Tony Storm take it from Goldilocks?
I assure you she doesn't know who Goldilocks is.
I think she does. I think she's a secret sicko.
Do you think she was watching her NWA TNA tapes?
She was listening to this show is what I think happened.
Tony, if you want to come on the podcast, talk about some TNA, feel free.
I think those timelines loosely add up.
I think they're timeless.
Sting hits a big dive off the top onto Abyss and Christian on the floor, starting Sting. Actually, no, he did a dive off the King of the Mountain penalty box as well this year. So even this year, Sting is like, can I jump off things? I would like to jump off things.
He's always been a bit of a freak for it.
Sting hits an electric chair on Abyss. The Tower of Doom superplexes Christian. Sting hits the Scorpion on Christian, but Tomko pulls the referee out. Abyss clears out Tomko, press slams Christian to the floor. My favorite part of that is Tomko is like 3 feet to the left of Christian as he's being press slammed to the floor. Does not try and catch him or intervene in any way.
I mean, why would you?
He's just like, yeah, you can eat that shit. I'm fine.
Yeah. Who wants to win the match, Garrett?
Abyss lays out the tacks, but Tomko curb stomps Abyss's head into them.
Burn it down.
Abyss black hole slams Sting into Christian, but misses the tacks for the win. He also kind of missed Christian a little bit. It was a great idea for a finish. You saw exactly what they wanted, and it just didn't hit. But I am glad at least that Abyss has 2 months as NWA World Champion.
Yeah, it does. Something works, you know? Like, it is a good footnote to exist.
And at least, like, it would have sucked, like, not only the way he won the belt, but if he had lost it 3 weeks later, not even like a full pay-per-view cycle, like you had 3 weeks as champ, it would have really sucked. I'd like to have a Rhino-esque reign as NWA World Champ. So at least he had one pay-per-view successful retention.
In my head, just gotta get in the books.
And he beat Sting back-to-back. He pinned him this month.
Yeah, after a perfect finish. That went exactly the way everyone intended.
Well, at least he pinned him. He pinned Sting.
Yeah, he did pin Sting.
The only other heavyweight feud this month is Rhino against AJ Styles. Continuing from Rhino being a little naggy bitch and AJ being like, leave me alone.
Yeah, it's a very silly little feud.
The first impact of the month, AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels defeat the Naturals, and what Don West tells us is the final time AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels will team together.
Ever.
They actually don't team together that much after this. They only have like 2 or 3 matches together.
They do it.
Yeah, and they team together in 2007 as well, so... they also plugged the Third Degree Burns CD, and I was trying to work out why the CD's called Third Degree Burns. And I didn't come up with an answer.
Third Degree Burns, because after the impact, you can get burnt.
You do burn a CD.
Well, I don't think it's that.
No, but that when when you put files on it, you burn files onto a CD.
I know, but I don't think it's that.
It's probably not. But listen, I've got nothing else. They may have simply thought it sounded cool.
It's probably just some like play on impact, alright.
You got nothing.
Well, it has to just be a... But why is it a 3 as well?
Yeah.
Instead of the word third.
It's confusing. I don't know why it's called Third Degree Burns. I own that CD.
Because everything they do is a pun on impact, you know? So, like, you have to assume.
It gets back to impact or TNA somehow.
Yeah. Let's ask Dale Oliver. He reduced it.
The Naturals are already in the ring. Styles and Daniels run wild, hit Andy Douglas with the high-low, followed by the frog splash BME for the win. They replay the finish. It is sponsored by Sonic the Hedgehog Next Gen.
Everything has a next gen.
That's what they call it. Mike Tenay says Sonic the Hedgehog Next Gen is what it's sponsored by.
Is that you're saying it like that isn't a thing that exists, but I don't know Sonic enough to know if that is or isn't.
Well, it's the game that would be known now as Sonic 06.
Sonic 06.
Yeah, which is famously known as one of the worst Sonic games, which is saying something because most of them are bad.
But like Sonic 06 is iconic.
Is it?
Yeah. Sonic 06 is an iconic video game.
Yeah.
It's the only canonical Sonic game with bestiality in it.
Yes, it is. And I guess like the game was just called Sonic the Hedgehog. That was the name of the game.
That game, unironically, always made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because like playing it felt like it was some like fake game that someone made online. That was pretending to be a Sonic game to like install malware.
Yeah.
Like it never felt like a fucking real video game.
Yeah.
Because like this is the way it looks.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right. I feel like Sonic has that problem with like 40% of Sonic games. Where they're just like, we don't really know what Sonic is. Like post 2D games.
But like a lot of them, they're like, we're just throwing Sonic in hyper-realistic worlds.
Yeah. Like Sonic Frontiers is another one of those, like, we don't really know what Sonic is meant to be in 3D, so we're just kind of doing shit and seeing how it turns out, and usually quite badly.
I think it's because it always kind of looks like a fake Unreal Engine game that, like, a fan made.
Yep. It looks like the kind of thing that only 2 minutes of footage should be. And there should be, like, an IGN headline that's like, fan remade Sonic in Unreal Engine, and you only see 2 minutes of it, and you know, like, you couldn't actually make the game like that.
Or like you just see something on YouTube and it's like, oh, what Pokemon should look like.
Eurogamer gave it 2 out of 10. Its lowest score.
Yeah, but like again, it has traveled beyond that. It is like a fundamental part of gaming history.
I like how the subhead on that Eurogamer review is feels a little flat, and then you give it 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm sure the comments about this will be very normal.
What did they give it?
There's 119 comments about this 19-year-old. Is the 2 for the bestiality content, somebody asks?
The users of Giant Bomb have given it a 1.8.
That's out of 5 or 10?
Out of 5.
Oh, okay, that's slightly better.
Yeah. One person gave it a 4 out of 10.
Whoa, that's swinging. That's slightly above 1.8 out of 5.
You gotta give, 4 out of 5.
Oh, that's much better than 1.8.
That's what I'm saying. I want to read the most helpful review by Blaze Hedgehog. The subheading is broken, rushed, and just not very fun. It's a long-ass review. Should be getting paid for this.
Yeah, I hope they are.
Dead on review, I'm a huge Sonic fan, but even I have to admit this game is pretty bad. The one thing you didn't mention, though, sound design. Though the voice acting was very questionable, I actually thought that a good deal of the music was quite good.
That's okay. That's the one thing Sonic does usually have going for it.
17 years ago. Huge Sonic fan I am, but this game sucks so bad. Great review about a terrible game, man. Come on, Sonic Unleashed. Prove the world wrong.
I'm on the legacy section of the Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
And one of the notes, the main theme of Sonic the Hedgehog and the theme of Sonic His World was sampled in Drake's 2017 song, KMT. It's funny you say that this is a game that looks like a fan-made remake. There's a fan-made remake of this using Unity Engine.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
I
think I remember playing a pretty decent chunk of it.
This is the generation of Sonic games I just completely missed. Like this, Sonic and the Black Knight. There's another one in that. Secret Rings is the other one in that era that just like I have not laid hands on at all. So I've no idea. I know this game's reputation, but other than that, I have not laid hands on it.
What's the one where you fight the water?
Sorry?
What's the one where you fight the water?
Is that the werewolf one?
No.
Is that Sonic and the Secret Rings?
No.
Is it Sonic Lost World?
What the fucking water guy called?
I have no idea.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure.
Which people like.
Played that one too. It's another he turns into a kaiju. That's all I remember. Sonic always had good art, like good box art.
Yeah, because Sonic is like it's the thing about Sonic. Sonic is an iconic character. Sonic looks awesome. He's one of the coolest character designs. Shout out to how he's inspired multiple generations of furries. But like most of his games are bad, so you have to like be like, I love Sonic because Sonic is cool objectively, and then you have to like dance around the fact that like, well, his games are like. The good ones are 7 out of 10.
Like Mega Man.
I haven't played enough Mega Man, honestly. I played like 2 Mega Men.
That's enough.
They're very similar, so I think it is enough. Listen, if you like that formula, there's a lot of it there for you.
Yeah.
What did you send me a photo of? Is this going to be Sonic porn?
No.
Oh, it's just nice box art. Okay.
Yeah, it's Sonic porn, all right. Hey.
Shout out Shadow. Also, like, an amazing design. Shadow looks so cool.
Yeah.
And then you have to play the games that Shadow's in. And, well.
Well, he has the one with the cool guns.
So Sonic the Hedgehog Next Gen is the sponsor of AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels versus the Naturals. Styles and Daniels got along the whole time during the match, but the second Rhino shows up after the match, AJ is like, fuck you, and leaves.
Yeah.
For some reason, all the X Division guys are also watching this. I don't really know why.
To get them on the show.
Yeah, because they don't do much else this month. The following week, we get AJ Styles' character development. He does a sit-down interview with Mike Tenay. AJ doesn't like Mike's characterization of his team with Daniels as on again, off again, which I think is fair. They've been pretty on again.
Yeah.
They've been teaming for like 6 months, Mike.
They just had one problem.
He says friends argue, they'll sort it out. AJ, however, doesn't trust Rhino. He thinks Rhino wants something. AJ then delves into his backstory. All they had when he was younger was a black and white TV in the trailer.
I know that would have been in vogue when you were a kid. Not for me.
Mike is like, I'm so sorry, I didn't want to embarrass you. And AJ's like, where were people like you when I actually needed you? Because Tenay's like, I'm just trying to help. It's like, I don't need your help. Or Tenay says, I didn't know you then. AJ retorts, you don't know me now. Tenay tries to get things back on track, and then Rhino walks in, having overheard everything. AJ is bemused at the idea that Rhino was just in the vicinity of the interview, which I do love.
But also, he mentioned him 12 minutes ago.
Yeah.
He didn't come in right after he started talking about Rhino. He waited until he was talking about, his personal life.
But I like that. It's like, oh, so you were just hanging around, were you?
How very convenient.
But one of my least favorite tropes in wrestling is the guy who is interrupting the interview just is happening to be there when they're talked about. So I love AJ being like, oh, what a coincidence that you happen to be here, you fucking spying on me piece of shit. Rhino relates to AJ's upbringing, tells him there's a better path. AJ says next time Rhino gets in his business, there's going to be trouble.
Trouble.
So we have a story about these poor boys who have gone down different paths. Then Go Home Show. We open Impact with Rhino in the ring. He's mad about what happened with AJ last week and calls him out. He was like, I was a certain level mad last week, but then I thought about it, I'm madder. Daniels comes out, tries to talk down Rhino. He sees the same issues between AJ and Rhino that Rhino was warning about. So he's like, you're kind of creating a self-fulfilling prophecy here, Rhino. AJ jumps Rhino from behind and they have a pull apart as security separates them. Main event of that show is meant to be the super duper multi-man, six-man match.
That is what they defined it as when they were promoting it.
The super duper multi-man six-way match? Mm-hmm. It's very catchy. It was Resident Stay is one of their branded match types. What did they call it? All-Star War? Was that it?
Something like that.
As Rhino's making his way to the ring, Styles jumps him, brawls to the back. As Tenay announces Rhino versus Styles for the pay-per-view, which we get. Rhino versus AJ Styles. There's an interview right before the match. Rhino sees a lot of himself in AJ as they both came up poor, but Rhino allowed people that would help him in. But AJ is turning that down, and Rhino's not going to let it slide. If AJ doesn't want that help, then he's going to beat some sense into him, which seems, I'm sorry, Rhino, very egotistical.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, I really want to help you, AJ, and then AJ says no, and then you're like, well, fuck you, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. I think AJ's right. I think he wanted something.
I don't think AJ's wrong here. It's just this is also even if you want to break it down, it's like at the end of the day, you're not doing this for me. You're doing this for you. You fuck. Yeah. Your friendship broke down. So you're making yourself feel better by getting your nose into my business, and I don't want you.
That is actually very true. It is very much projection. It's like, listen, your shit went down. My shit is actually fine. Me and Daniel, we actually don't have any issues right now, buddy.
And just leave me alone.
And you can give Rhino the benefit of the doubt the first time he offers support. It's like, oh geez, man, this is going tough. Do you want my help? And if AJ says no, you should accept that personal boundary. You should move on to something else.
Yeah, this is Rhino's problem at the end of the day.
AJ jumps him and jumpstarts the match. They struggle to get a camera in place for their brawl. They're like, oh, we're going to go to the back to see the brawl. We're having technical problems with the camera, so we're just going to hold on a shot of the impact zone for a while.
It was very weird.
Rhino drops AJ on a garbage can, and AJ just slides off right on his face.
Yeah, there's a lot of AJ just kills him. He really is Darby of this era.
Yeah. He doesn't do, like, the kind of the real high... Actually, no, he does. Like, the fucking lockdown spots are just as crazy. Yeah. He is just Darby Allin.
Yeah.
I was going to talk myself out of him doing, like, the true top-end crazier stuff, but, like, he hung from the top of a building and dropped onto a steel cage.
Yeah.
That's, like, right up there with anything Darby's done, so, you know what? AJ is Darby.
Just because he doesn't have glass involved. This is the one, like, difference maker.
Mm.
He was even, like, the wacky weapons guy. He had that chainsaw.
Yes, he was the first. He didn't cut somebody with it, though. He should have cut Engelberty. AJ is bumping all over the place. He tears his tights, and you can see his butt. They were nice tights, too.
Rest in peace.
And we will be going to Long Boys pretty soon, so maybe that was his impetus. Maybe he's like, my ass is too big for tights now, I need to go to Long Boys. Rhino flings AJ over the rail, AJ rotates, lands on his side and face. They finally get in the ring, and the match actually starts. AJ doesn't do his slingshot dive anymore, he teases it, but he doesn't do it because he's a bad guy. Rhino dumps AJ over the top to the floor. AJ does a full, like, rotation, lands on his feet, immediately sells the leg. They spend like 5 minutes attending to him, checking on him. Doctors, referee throws up the X. AJ's in trouble. They're about to stop the match as Andrew Thomas is informing Rhino about his decision to stop the match. AJ jumps back to his feet, rolls up Rhino for the win. Andrew Thomas, without breaking a beat, just counts the pin, which I respect. That's a referee.
Yeah. But yeah, they didn't ring that bell. The match is still going.
They missed the pin because they inexplicably cut to Dave Penzer during it. So you see Dave Penzer's reaction to the pin, not the pin itself.
Which I guess kind of sells it.
That they didn't expect it, I guess, yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not good, but like, if you want to like make a justification for why it could be.
Yeah, it's not an intentional choice, but there is something to, like, yeah, the fact that, like, even the production wasn't expecting AJ to do a roll-up, so the production missed it too. Yeah, AJ dances, Rhino is shocked. And after the match, again, they brawl.
He's shocked at the dancing.
Yes, he doesn't mind the being screwed by bullshit, but he does not like AJ dancing in his face, and they brawl after the match.
Mainly because his ass is out.
Yeah, he doesn't like that AJ bottom. That brings us over to the X Division. We've kind of danced around some Daniels stuff, but the continued program this month is Daniel Sabin for the X Division title.
You may be forgiven for not remembering that was a thing.
Yeah, very similar to Rhino. The same story is like a jerk intervening himself in where he's not belonged and he's meant to be a babyface. Jerry Lynn.
Yeah, this Jerry Lynn stuff is weird and bad.
The first show of the month we talked about the X Division. We're just inexplicably watching the Styles and Daniels against the Naturals match. I think that's meant to be the small bit of X Division build up because Sabin is there. The following week we have an X Division number one contenders match. It is Chris Sabin, Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt. Daniels is at the desk as we get some LAX and AMW stuff again, because nothing in this show can just be like, you know, it's just we're doing an X Division match and that's fine, right? We're just doing an X Division. Nope, we have to have an angle and some bullshit and somebody's on commentary in this 3-minute match. You can't just have the 3-minute match. Daniels breaks down all of his opponents on commentary
and what he would do to beat them, which was really like kind of interesting. He's a good commentator.
And again, it's like it justified why he was actually there. He was there for the post-match angle. That's what they wanted him there for. But at least like, he brought some meaningful analysis to the desk as opposed to just waiting until his angle happened.
He's also there because he's the champion.
That's true. Lethal and Dutt work together a little. When it comes down to them, Lethal hits Dutt with a dragon suplex, but Sabin steals the win. Sabin and Daniels get into it after the match, but Jerry Lynn gets between them.
Get your nose out of this business, old man.
So what do we have? Do we have anything on the fucking go?
Pretty sure the next thing is just them announcing that Lynn is the special ref.
Yeah, there's a JB segment where he does his little talkie deals where they announce that the match will happen. Lynn will be special referee. That's all they got. That's all they got for the build. That's all they got.
There's no fucking build, bro.
That brings up. They don't even get like TNA's standard pay-per-view formula is like backstage promo with participant video package match. They don't even get the video package or the backstage promo. It's just straight Daniels versus Sabin for the X Division title with Jerry Lynn as special referee. The match it's fine. There's a Sabin hip toss to Daniels on the ramp as he shouts, "Don't patronize me, Don," at Don West. Don's like, "I'm not patronizing you." Daniels hits a very silly elbow off the top to the concrete floor, which must have been an absolute nightmare for his hip. Daniels retains with the BME. It's a disappointing match for these two. I think these two had a really good TV match back in like early 2000. 2005 when they were doing qualifiers for that Final Resolution Ultimate X. They had a better match then. This match, it's fine. Like, it's really weird how, like, I'm not sure, is it being agented differently? Is it being produced differently? Is it just there's less motivation for these guys? But, like,
I know, it feels like a motivation thing.
they're just working closer to, like, WWE style matches as opposed to, like, TNA X Division style matches.
Yeah, they're all, everything feels slower and less exciting and less invested.
Yeah. So, like, this match is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Perfectly decent little match that you'll never think about again. But, like, you know, that's not what the X Division is. You want the X Division to be the match that you remember on pay-per-views. It's not the BG James match. After the match, Lynn is like, you lost to Daniels fair and square. Show him respect. And my favorite thing is Daniels is like, I don't give a shit about this. Why are you involving me in your bullshit? Daniels gets more mad about this than Chris Sabin does. Then Jerry Lynn gets in Daniels' face, slaps Daniels. The referee gets between them. Then Jerry leaves as Daniels calls him a bitch.
It's all very stupid.
Jerry is a bitch.
What a silly, dumb angle.
He's been nagging Chris Sabin for months. Now Daniels is like, I don't care about your crusade, bro. I'm X Division champion. I just retain my belt. Fair and square. I don't need his respect. I have a title. And they're both mad at Jerry Lynn.
Yeah. Like, if the good guy and the bad guy both think you're a dickhead, maybe you're a dickhead.
Maybe you should just butt out of people's business, huh? The other thing in the X Division is the Paparazzi Championship Series. We have finally reached it. The debut of the PCS.
This is, like, it's funny because, like, this is the one that I remember the most. But, like, I think the earlier stuff is better.
Well, this is still, like, the launch of the PCS. We haven't gotten into the competitions yet. But I think I have to rewatch it to have a take on that. Because, like, the stuff with the Nash early Paparazzi production stuff is really good and really silly and really funny. And even, like, the earlier Shelley stuff with, like, the Planet Jarrett stuff is really good and really funny. But we'll see how this stuff holds up. Warrior. So if you remember, when Nash was on commentary last month, he said, I am holding a mandatory X Division meeting on the next episode of Impact. He follows through on his promise. He introduces the PCS, the Paparazzi Championship Series. Because, you know, he's like, the X Division has lost something. He's not wrong. It has. So this is his solution. Says the X Division will be subject to some tests.
They need characters.
Sanjay Dutt immediately says, I'm not going to pee any cup. You wonder why?
Gashead.
Nash says they're all going to hold hands in a show of solidarity. Some people refuse, and Nash is just like, are you afraid to hold another man's hand?
Woke.
Nash starts singing Kumbaya as they zoom in on Senshi looking bemused. Lethal and Sanjay go to leave as Nash accuses them of being juiceheads. Dave doesn't like this. He thinks it's worse than the DX skits on Raw that they're trying to mock.
That's actively not true.
The man has bad takes all the time. This podcast is mostly just the catalog Dave's bad takes.
He forever has.
He's like the last person to ever work out why anything is good. And yet he's like the first critic in the world of wrestling. So the following week, it's drug test time. Sanjay and Shelley have cups of, frankly, very yellow pee. I am worried about their hydration levels. Those boys need to be drinking more water. Their pee should not be that yellow.
No, that's it. Yeah, that's what that should have come up in the testing.
Nash says, much to his chagrin, they all passed their drug tests. The bad news, Shelley has chlamydia. To which Shelley responds, the clap? Oh. And that killed me.
No.
The chlamydia thing does lead to a better line during the push-up contest, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Psychological testing starts next week. Nash wants Shelley and Star to get their job done because they have a tag team match tonight as he stirs the pee with a straw, suggesting he will drink it.
He should have drank it for real.
But listen, it's very nutrient rich, I'd say.
No, it's not. Actively.
The yellowness of it, what else could be in there?
Pneumonia.
The Austin Star gimmick was a collaboration between Austin Aries himself and Dutch Mantel, by the way, if you're ever wondering. It was kind of his idea.
Because it was bad.
You hate Dutch.
Yeah, he's the fucking worst booker in the company's history.
You dead right. The match, Lance Hoyt and Ron Killings defeat Austin Starr and Alex Shelley via reverse decision. No entrances for this one. Both teams already in the ring. Ron Killings hits a big dive that's not sponsored by Sonic 06. It's sponsored by Sonic Rivals.
Wow, we got a lot of Sonic going on.
which is a PSP action racing game that I've never heard of in my life. But it's like a 6 out of 10 game, apparently. It's better than Sonic 06 by all accounts.
But it's not Sonic Racing.
No, because like the people really like the Sonic racing games, even the one that just came out this year. Those get really good reviews, but this is a precursor to them, I guess. I've never heard the word Sonic Rivals in my life.
They're not in cars in this one.
Yeah.
And there's Sonic Rivals 2.
I assume they're like running on their feet.
Yeah, they are. They're running on their feet.
Which I guess makes sense, because Sonic goes fast.
Yeah, the cars never made sense.
Well, I guess the cars are to even the playing field for like Tails and Knuckles. Because Sonic would just win.
Well, like, Shadow can teleport.
That's true. That does feel like cheating. But you know what? Running super speed also feels like cheating, so... Tails can fly. Tails can float.
Tails can fly pretty fast. He does race Sonic.
Knuckles, if there's any hill components, Knuckles can climb real good.
Yeah. Depends on the track.
Shelly and Star argue about who should be in the ring, but Shelly rolls up Hoyt with a handful of tights. A jealous Star shows the paparazzi cam of Shelly having the tights, which causes the referee to reverse the decision, and Alex Shelley is very mad.
But also Austin's a fucking idiot.
He did cost himself the match too, but...
Yeah, and it's like, I think this is the part where like, because at the first, like, Nash is all in on Star, right? But like, by the time we get to the pay-per-view, like, Nash is like a little playing both sides. And like, I have to believe he was like, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, we just won, bro. Like, that's what we want. We wanted to win. I said, literally, go back and check. I want you to get the job done. Didn't say win by fair and square, did he? He said get the job done. Shelly got the job
exactly.
done. And then the next week, we have psychological testing in the Paparazzi Championship Series. He's doing ink blot tests, and he asks what these wrestlers see in these ink blots. Senshi sees
Warrior
in everything. Shelly sees his heart after Nash broke it. Aries sees himself with titles. Shelly sees a PlayStation 3. Nash snaps on Senshi and says, does this not look to some degree like Jim Hellwig?
Warrior.
Nash accuses Sanjay of being on the gas, to which he goes on a run of, what's this look like? The juice? What's this look like? Testosterone? What's this look like? Barry Bonds? Tournament begins at Turning Point.
This is just all the prep, you see.
We know they're clean. We know they're in of good mind, of good soul.
Somewhat.
We know Shelly wants to play Sonic 06 on his PlayStation 3. That does bring us to the opening match of Turning Point, which is a 5-way match. Senshi versus Austin Starr versus Jay Lethal versus Sanjay Dutt versus Alex Shelley in the opening round of the Paparazzi Championship Series. You get points based on how long you last, basically. If you're first out 2 points and then everything up from there, or 1 point, sorry, and then everything up there for 5. So kicks off, Nash is on commentary. Nash suggests Senshi is so warrior focused that he needs to shake the ropes. Do you think they were trying to get Low-Key to do a warrior impression before they were trying to get Lethal to do a Macho Man impression?
I don't think that, no.
You don't think they could have convinced Low-Key to pretend to be Ultimate Warrior?
I don't think they could have done that, no.
Nash believes Austin Starr's work strongly resembles his own, which Mike Tenay struggles to work out. Dutt gets Shelly in the camel clutch. Starr pulls Shelly away from the ropes to stop Shelly from getting a rope break. Shelly submits. Nash is like, hey, he still gets a point.
They're all like, what?
Lethal is eliminated by a Senshi shotgun dropkick to earn 2 points. Starr does a mount pin on Dutt, drawing a that was gay chant, to which I will say, this is all gay, pals. It's wrestling, come on. Dutt runs wild as Nash says, you wonder where he pulled that out of, probably a syringe. Starr puts Dutt down with a brainbuster at a 450. Sanjay gets 3 points. Commenting on Starr, Nash says, put some black leather pants on that guy. It's me. Shelly comes back out and distracts Starr, allowing Senshi to win with a roll-up. 4 points Starr, 5 points Senshi. Nash is aghast. Shelly wants to high-five after the match, but only gets a handshake low down. And Shelly puts an L on his forehead, directed at Austin Starr. And that is our X Division stuff for the month, as the PCS will continue into January.
The PBS.
That takes us to the various miscellaneous, because we have to end on VKM, so we have to end on Tag Division. EY and Bobby Roode.
The most controversial match finish maybe ever.
I think if you go to patreon.com/gettingmeyourtnhchat.com and listen to the watch along for this episode, I don't think you have ever been quite as animated at anything we've ever covered than you were in the Bikini Contest between Eric Young and Tracy Brooks.
Well, you know, I respect the sport. And if you're going to compete in a sport-based product, I expect some sort of upholding of the rules.
It's important.
A general attempt to be made. And I was frankly a little disappointed by all efforts.
You know, you really think of Vince Russo as a details man. And for him to miss these important details in his story, especially when, frankly, an important part of the match was whether or not the outfits were set to the rules. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, it was one thing if it was just, you know, the whims of a madman watching to complain about the logistics of the outfits. But when it's brought into question during the contest itself, and yet I find no self-analysis, no self-awareness, that's when I take a problem. That's when I take umbrage.
Yep. Well, we shall get into it. On the November 23rd Impact, Thanksgiving night in the United States, also, well, technically it's Friday here, but it was yesterday Thanksgiving as we record this. Eric Young is in the crowd, rocking, for the first time in TNA history, a turkey suit.
A staple of the company.
Yes, we would go on to have 11 other turkeys in TNA history.
Name them all. Go, right now.
Eric Young, AJ Styles, Alex Shelley, Rob Terry, even though Robbie E lost the match, Jesse Goddard, Dewey Barnes and Norv Furnham, Grado, Chris Adonis, Glenn Gilberti, Jay Vidal, Brian Myers, and as of last night, Ryan Nemeth.
Perfect.
It helps that I cut together in every turkey in TNA history video this week. So it makes it a little bit easier. It probably would have been a little harder for me if I hadn't, but I had looked at every single one of them this week.
I was also doing it for the audience.
Yes.
Rank them now, best to worst.
Well, Eric Young, interestingly, only meant to wear the turkey suit without being mandated to wear the turkey suit.
So that's automatic number one. He's doing it for the love of the game.
He simply introduces the turkey suit out of love and joy.
And it, you know, quite frankly, it's disgusting to see how it's been bastardized.
And turned into a punishment?
Yeah. The turkey suit was spurned out of love.
Yeah. The AJ one's great because AJ struggles for a long time getting that dopey turkey costume on himself.
And they just don't edit it?
No, they leave it there, and then Kurt Angle comes out in his pilgrim costume being like, what the fuck? And it's a very surreal setting. Most of them, then, they all follow like a nice pattern. There's the occasional somebody tries to get out of it and then is forced to wear the turkey suit. There is the occasional Glenn Gilberti doesn't want to wear the turkey suit until Scarlett Bordeaux thinks he pretends he looks attractive in the turkey suit, in which he gets into wearing the turkey suit. But for the most part, you have the standard lose the match where they're... Actually, no, I think my third favorite might be Dewey and Norv, because they wear the turkey suit as punishment. But I think closest to the spirit of Eric Young as nerds, they get super into the turkey suit and start gobbling and make the bromans very mad.
Yes.
And then the end of that show ends with them doing stereo crossbodies or stereo splashes as turkeys. So those are the important turkeys in TNA history.
And us for bloody watching it, am I right?
But yeah, he's in the crowd as Mike Tenay's running down the card. He appears behind Mike and Don at one point, wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving in his turkey suit. Later in the show, Robert Roode is in the ring. He's talking about Eric Young is in a turkey suit, and that's an embarrassment to the sport. The crowd does not like this. They tell Roode he sucks, which does get to Roode, we learn. Roode wants a rematch with EY. EY beat Roode on the Genesis pre-show, which we didn't watch. Then he demands EY get in the ring. So we have the singles match that is Eric Young versus Robert Roode.
But who gives a fuck about this match? It's not why we're here.
Yes, Roode jumps EY before the bell beats on him. EY jackknife pin on Roode. I took no notes between that. The match started and the match ended. Whatever happened, who knows? EY scatters. Roode is furious. He berates Miss Brooks because, of course, this is somehow her fault.
Well, he can't take the blame himself.
He says Brooks walks around flaunting her body, but she didn't get hired for her body. She got hired for her mind. He's real mad that the people love EY and hate Roode. Says if EY ran for president, he'd probably win. He'd probably even beat you, Tracy Brooks, in a bikini contest.
There's a lot of commentary on election.
Yes. Which I guess we're in the midterms. Yeah, this would be a midterm year because 2008 is an election year, isn't it? So we're in the midterm elections. Presumably Bush losing quite badly.
Yeah, a lot of one side of the political spectrum is being very vocal on these shows.
We shall get to that in a moment. Who knew how political... I'm trying to find the funniest person who could be political. Letitia Klein could get. But yes... Roode is like, oh, he's so popular, he could probably even beat you, Miss Brooks, with your attractive appearance in a bikini contest. The next week, Eric Young is in the crowd. Miss Brooks is looking for Eric in the crowd, and somebody informs Eric that Miss Brooks is looking for him, and then she challenges him to a bikini contest. She took the quip seriously.
Yeah.
To be fair, that would get to me too. I would also be like, no, I could beat him in a bikini contest. Come on.
Fair enough.
EY is worried, and he will begin his weight loss voyage. He has 2 weeks.
He doesn't even have 2.
But a week and a half. Yeah, he has about a week and a half. The following week, we see EY in a sweatsuit. He's getting ready for his bikini contest. He's trying to hit the average weight of a woman. He's trying to get inside the woman's head, feel like a woman, become a woman. Eric Young says trans rights.
Eric Young egg.
He is a trans icon. He then wrestles Senshi.
Senshi doesn't give a fuck about EY's journey of self-discovery and just murders him.
He does murder him. He doesn't get an entrance. Most of the match is taken with Mike and Don talking about the pay-per-view. Tracy appears at the end of the match. She exposes her breasts to Eric Young, which distracts him, shocks him, stuns him. Senshi hits a shotgun dropkick on a Warrior's way as Tracy and Rude watch on from the ramp. And then that does take us to the pay-per-view. Before the bikini contest, JB has Eric Young. The bikini contest is up next. JB has heard Tracy is even willing to get naked to win.
Also, a staunch DQ.
It should be. It's not a naked contest.
It is a bikini contest.
If you actively remove the bikini, you should be disqualified.
Unless you keep the bottoms.
Interesting.
But then technically, I would have to be assured that everyone on the voting committee, in this case, the Impact Zone, I would have to be assured that they were voting based purely on the bottoms.
That's true. You can only look at
her
from the
So it's not
waist down.
a DQ, but it would put the whole thing into question.
You would have to adjust the judging rubric.
Yes, I'd have to clarify.
Eric Young is worried about this development, but JB points out that EY has something that she doesn't. Cojones. EY is man, hear him roar, as he pulls his robe open. This disgusts JB, as he suggests EY should put something on down there, which means he was probably naked himself, I think, is the implication, or wearing something far too skimpy.
He was on the first layer.
We then get the bikini contest.
Yes.
There's a red mat, a podium, some inflatable palm trees in the ring.
Straight out of Carlito's talk show gimmick.
Yes, that's where they got it. He probably wasn't doing that anymore at this point. This is late 06.
I think he was definitely doing that.
Was he still? I thought they gave up on him by then.
No, he was pushing 207.
That's, you know what? They showed some perseverance there. Miss Brooks comes out in some business attire. She has a themed outfit before she reveals what is meant to be her bikini.
First of all, I appreciate a theme.
Yep.
A theme is integral to a performance like this.
Yep.
Some would say paramount. The problem is,
yeah,
when she reveals her quote-unquote bikini. I am shocked and appalled to say it is not a bikini. It is lingerie. You could not wear that material in the water. It simply would not work.
It would be very impractical at the very least.
And thus, I would have to disqualify one Mrs. Brooks.
She's simply not attired properly.
Nope.
I've seen the photo shoots they show us through the years. That woman does own a bikini.
I'd put money on it.
So it had to be a conscious choice not to. And you wonder why. Was she trying to sabotage Robert Roode? Is it an act of defiance?
It's an interesting theory.
Don apologizes for his horniness as Mike chastises him. EY comes out in a pink robe, still gets his pyro for this bikini contest. Don says the only way EY could win is if he got some incredible surgery, but it doesn't appear like he did. Mike then goes like, how do you know? And Don is like, well, he's wearing a robe, but I can see dimensions.
Mathematics, the schematics.
JB introduces this. He calls it a showcase of skin, an exhibition of exhibitionism. The crowd will decide the winner. Miss Brooks won the coin toss backstage, and she will go first. To which Tenay derisively says, she gets to go first. Won the coin flip. As sarcastically and dismissively as he can. It is very good. Tracy is wearing, as you said, closer to red lingerie with a tie. Mike keeps asking Don for his analysis, but then every time Don starts getting horny, Mike starts shaming him, which is a dynamic I do appreciate. It's like, Don, what do you think of this? And Don is like, yeah, well, you know, I'm a red, but how dare you, Don? Come on.
That's why I'm a true analysis. I'm providing actual insight.
That's true. EY is next. He has a bikini t-shirt.
And, I have to simply say,
yep,
it is swimwear.
You could wear that while swimming.
It is something you would see at the beach. Technically, it would count. It wouldn't be a high score.
Yeah.
But any score is beating a DQ.
Well, Rude does not agree with your assessment. Rude says that's not proper bikini attire.
Well, and that's where I have my problem, all right?
Yes.
If you were just taking a stance, all right?
Yep.
If you were just like, oh, he's dressed a fool. He's dressed a darned fool.
He is bringing this contest into disrepute.
Yes, I oppose vehemently the idea of claiming the validity of his outfit does not count, because I say to you, Sir Robert Roode, Mrs. Brooks' outfit is less of a bikini than Eric Young's in this instance.
Damn. It's like we're in a court of law. He demands Slick Johnson disqualify him, to which Tanay quips, well, the title changes hands on a disqualification, doesn't it? Which popped me tremendously. EY says he's not done and pulls off his shirt to reveal SpongeBob underwear.
And this is where we have another problem. EY has fucked himself now.
Yeah.
Because he is also not wearing a bikini.
He's just down to underwear.
Underwear is not appropriate swim attire.
There is swimwear attire that can be appropriate underwear, but underwear cannot be appropriate swimwear attire.
Exactly. So now we're in complete disrepair, as both competitors should be DQ'd.
It is ruled not to be a bikini. Brooks was about to win again when EY demands one more try. He reveals SpongeBob swimming attire.
That one does in fact count.
Yeah.
EY does in fact win. But on a technicality. And I would argue, if my client, Mrs. Brooks, should have been given the opportunity to wear a second outfit.
And a third.
Eric Young was given multiple chances to finally present himself in appropriate attire, and Mrs. Brooks should have been given the same.
Objection. Eric Young was wearing swimwear attire the first time.
To which he willingly removed.
Oh, damn.
I rest my case.
So they go to the crowd vote. Brooks gets some cheers. Mike Tenay says, more boos than cheers, isn't it? Don responds, maybe they're saying something else. Okay. That might rhyme with booze, and again, very silly. I enjoy it. The commentary does lean into overly leery pervy at times with Miss Brooks, but I enjoyed Mike's and Don's dynamic here, because they kind of buried it the whole time, which is the way you should go.
Yeah, of course.
EY gets a big pop and wins, so Rude jumps him. EY does a little dance and bails. Rude is furious and demands that Tracy get Eric Young to sign the contract and join Robert Roode Incorporated by any means, because if EY works for him, then the crowd will have no choice but to love him. But if Brooks can't get that done, maybe she'll be fired.
And now we are at the core of the issue.
Yes.
That Robert Roode sees his former tag team partner being loved by the crowd and simply wishes that for himself. And is that not an admirable feat?
Well, the problem is that Eric Young is himself, and the crowd respond to his inherent authenticity.
Perhaps Robert Roode is also authentic, but he's just authentic about money, investments, and stock.
Yes, and maybe X the Everything app.
An X the Everything app.
He wants to go to Mars, I heard.
Sure.
So yes, he is insecure about his former tag team partner. And maybe there's a deeper layer to this, Liam.
Maybe he's insecure about his own body.
Maybe he just misses his former tag team partner.
Maybe that's why he wants him in the corporation.
Yeah, he's not jealous of him. He's not insecure about him. He's just not with his pal anymore. And he just kind of misses it.
And that's understandable.
That is the continuing
Let's never
adventures.
talk about this again.
Up next, Serotonin.
Serotonin, baby.
There is 3 Serotonin video packages. If you don't remember who Serotonin are, they are the group that Raven is leading of Matt Bentley, Johnny Devine, and Frankie Kazarian, who will get new names, but I'm not sure have they gotten new names yet.
I don't think we know anything about them beyond Serotonin is coming.
Yeah. So during the break before the AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels match, we get a broody vignette for Raven's new group. We're told they're coming soon. The following week, pretty much the same thing. Another broody vignette for Raven's group. They're apparently super smart, and this is where they are dubbed Serotonin. So they're delivering happiness to our brains, Liam, is what I think what we're supposed to take from that.
Oh, they get happiness from pain.
Oh no, that's a worse.
Schadenfreude. Dream match.
Schadenfreude versus serotonin. You know, if you did a straight up match, it would probably be a pretty good match. Even throwing Raven in there.
Serotonin versus Ronin.
That would also probably be a pretty good match.
Yeah.
Like Matt Bentley, Kazarian, and Johnny Devine are good wrestlers.
Yeah, they could have a good match. Good DGUSA.
Yeah. Gabe should have booked that. That would have been a great King of Trios group, honestly.
Yeah.
If one of the meme groups were Serotonin, that would be a great
As
King of Trios
Serotonin.
group. Yeah, as Serotonin.
With Raven.
They have to be. You couldn't leave behind Raven. The Go Home Impact, we get one more about how caterpillars can transform into something beautiful. So this is a transformative process that Serotonin are going through.
2006 TNA, very pro-trans.
Yeah, we're all about going into cocoons and emerging as our true selves. Mm-hmm. That brings us to baseball. We're in TNA's yearly detour into baseball. Same thing last year, Turning Point. If you remember, AJ Pierzynski and Dale Torborg made an appearance. They did a whole thing. There was a baseball match with the Diamonds in the Rough. Bobby Heenan was there, which was the coolest thing about it. Bobby Heenan's not there this year, so it's slightly worse. But on the pay-per-view, Jim Cornette comes to the ring, and he welcomes Dale Torborg and AJ Pierzynski to the ring. They're back. AJ still has the X Division title that was gifted to him last year. They introduce David Eckstein and his brother Rick. He has the World Series MVP trophy with him. He also
freaking files. Release the Eckstein files.
They did. It's called a book.
Oh, okay. That's what this whole segment was about.
Yeah, the files are in the book, and they're putting them out. Please don't go buying David Eckstein's book thinking there might be something else in there. It's apparently a very motivational children's book. There was apparently a TNA chant at the World Series. He's here. He's plugging his book. The crowd chant, "We want wrestling." They cut to the crowd while they're chanting, "We want wrestling." I don't know why. Eckstein talks about how he loves Rhino and he loves Lance Hoyt and he's promoting his books. And as he's promoting it, Dale and AJ want to get to those files, so they start pulling the pages out of the book to see what's in there.
They start redacting them.
They do redact David Eckstein's book by removing pages from the book. AJ is like, "This is my ring, and I earned this title, the X Division title that was gifted to him."
I mean, there's some crazy stories in that about Bubba Ray Dudley.
He's not around this month. Wonder where he is. There's no sign of him in this pay-per-view cycle, so...
Makes you think...
Torborg, drop kicks, Rick Eckstein. And then starts choking David. Lance Hoyt appears, comes out, and drops the Demon, who Mike Tenay does refer to at one point as the Demon, with a big boot. Lance directs the baseball lads to the hard camera for a pose, because they were posing to the wrong side. And Lance is like, "Boys, the camera's that way." So there you go. David Eckstein, World Series MVP for 2006, is here in TNA. The idea was to get the footage on ESPN SportsCenter and into mainstream media. It got some coverage in both major Chicago newspapers because Pierzynski plays for the White Sox and the St. Louis Dispatch. Eckstein plays for the Cardinals. It made some TV in both markets as well as Orlando, and press time, ESPN was expected to do something with the Wii Sports Illustrated as well.
Wii Sports Illustrated?
Yeah, Wii Sports. You play tennis, you play bowling. It has a great theme song, but you can only do it with your arms. Mm-hmm. As opposed to other video games which you play with your feet, apparently.
You play with your fucking heart.
Yes. So that is the development in baseball. We'll get some more stuff coming down the line as well. That takes us over to the tag team division. AMW continue their feud with the Latin American Exchange.
This feud has been a million years.
You say that. It's been 6 weeks.
A million years.
It's because we do 4 months between episodes now.
Okay. It's my fault now.
You see, when you watch the first part and then 2 months later watch the next part, it makes it feel longer when in fact it's only been 3 weeks of television.
Wow. If you want to take Jim Cornette's side, that's up to you, I guess.
That's true. How dare they use the system? Mm-hmm. They're not stable for another frickin'... Oh god, I pushed myself into a corner having to do math. 17 years.
Shock the system.
November 23 Impact, Jim Cornette comes to the ring. If you remember, at the Genesis pay-per-view, he issued an ultimatum that LAX will have to turn over the World Tag Team titles or be fired. So he comes to the ring. He introduces Petey Williams. Mike Tenay and Christy Hemme in the teaser before the break hype up Petey as a real American hero. He is American through and through. He saved the American flag. He's an American champion of democracy.
I love America.
PD says he knew what was happening with the American flag wasn't right, and somebody had to stand up. None of the Americans, apparently. That somebody was PD. They're going to raise the flag to the ceiling as they play an instrumental version of the national anthem that's immediately interrupted by the gunshots of LAX's theme song, and you could not have a more on-the-nose political commentary imaginable.
Yeah. Imagine them doing any of this today.
That is simply the only thought we can have every month about all of this, isn't it? They simply wouldn't get away with it. You wouldn't get away with like a 15% as tame version of this. Never mind, they're interrupting the flag with the gunshots so that the immigrants can use the American legal system to keep their jobs.
Yeah.
Conan comes out with a lawyer and serves Cornette some papers. They're going to use the American system against them. They get due process. Cornette's trying to unfairly strip them of the titles. PD looks to stand up to them but gets dropped and draped in the Mexican flag. AMW makes the save, but Conan throws Gale to the ground and LAX take over again. And this is where we get the entire detour into Kurt Angle, PD, Samoa Joe, all of that stuff. So we've covered all of that. It sets up the tag match for the following week, which is LAX versus PD Williams and Kurt Angle. But through that show, LAX take out James Storm, they take out Chris Harris, they take out PD Williams, which brings you to the main event where you do the match. They retain the title via legal process, I guess. And then the next week, go home show, we have PD Williams versus Homicide.
Which is a fun little match on paper, but is kind of overshadowed by like just everything that is constantly happening with AMW running in and LX running in and brawls and flags and
and an entire classic TNA fashion. It all happens within the space of 15 seconds. PD's out for revenge after LAX took him out last week. They trade counters in and out of the Canadian Destroyer and the Gringo Killer, which is, I think, kind of the cool thing about this match. It's like the two guys with the death finishes.
Yeah.
But PD gets the roll-up for the win. Hernandez border tosses PD after the match and drapes the flag over him. AMW makes the save and runs off LAX. Gale taunts LAX with the Mexican flag. So later in the show, Letitia has LAX. Conan is mad and he wants the Mexican flag back. And he proposes that AMW and LAX face off in a non-title flag match, a turning point. Winning team's anthem being played. So flags in either corner. It turns out to be closer to a ladder match because you get the flags off the poles and then you have to hang them from like a thing in the middle of the ring, ladder style. To
ironically, unironically, a better version of a flag match.
Yeah, it made the match better. Like if you were just like get the flag off the pole, that's terrible. Whereas get the flag off the pole and then hang it in the middle of the ring off a ladder, it's just a ladder match then, really.
Yeah.
That does bring us to Turning Point 2006, December 10th, from the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida, as we had that flag match. Obviously, before the flag match, we have our classic pre-match promo. Conan says, soon everybody will be speaking Spanish, and tonight everybody will stand at respect for the Mexican national anthem. So LAX defeat America's Most Wanted in a flag match.
It's kind of a crazy fun match. Like, it's not like some AMW classic pay-per-view match, but like it's pretty fun. They do a bunch of shit. It's kind of like you always get like one crazy death spot in an LAX match.
Yeah, like these two teams don't have like the 4.5-star classic you could maybe think are possibly in them, and maybe if in different circumstances they could probably
different
have.
Era of TNA.
And I think the bigger disappointment is they don't really have like a full blood feud match where these, because these two teams, if they were doing something like a full street fight where everyone bleeds and everybody dies, I think would be the best version of the match between these two teams.
Or the cage,
Yeah, if they had a cage match, yeah. Whereas the two matches they do have, I think, are good like 3.25-star matches that are trying to be 3.25-star matches.
Yeah.
So the flags are on poles in each corner. You have to get the flag, climb the ladder, hang it to win. If you don't, it will be eventually returned back to its pole. So you have to get it twice. Gale hits a moonsault off the top to the floor onto Homicide. And she goes crazy because anytime Gale gets to wrestle in any regard, she's like, yes, I will do a moonsault to the floor. Because I love doing anything that's not just standing around. Harris dumps Homicide overhead onto the ladder, and Homicide just barely catches the edge of the ladder in the worst way imaginable. Harris then gets crackerjacked onto a ladder. Storm hits a sunset flip powerbomb on Hernandez off the ladder.
A very smooth one, too. Like, not like that weird, like, stop and go, just like tippy-toe right onto the mat and then just hits the powerbomb.
Because I get why they stop and go, because it hurts less.
Yeah.
But when you do the full like fluid through, it looks much better.
Yeah.
Gail drops Homicide with a missile dropkick. She then tries to hang the flag, but Conan grabs her and pulls her off the ladder and pulls her to the mat by her hair. Petey Williams comes out and tries the Canadian Destroyer Conan, but Hernandez stops him. Hernandez then does his big Air Mexico dive, but he does it from a standing start in the middle of the ring. Like, he doesn't hit the ropes and do it, which is so impressive, to just middle of the ring standing dive straight into that dive. Homicide and Harris both try to hang the flag from either side of a ladder. Storm climbs the ladder, smashes Homicide with the bottle, but the glass from the bottle also ricochets into Chris Harris's eye, so he falls off the ladder too. Hernandez then hangs the Mexican flag for the win. Storm is furious at Chris Harris. Gail is like, you got glass in his eye, but this does not calm down Storm. Then LAX and Conan stand for attention for the Mexican national anthem, which the crowd largely do respect.
Yeah, there's a couple people that turn their backs, which is very funny. But, like, for the most part, everyone's like, yeah, okay, they won.
Yeah, and they like LAX, so they're like, yeah, we'll respect their victory. I do like Homicide because he's bleeding from the back of the head after he took a glass to it. So he's like struggling to stand. He can't quite pay attention. He's like, oh my God. But he's like doing his best to stand for the anthem. After the match, JB has Storm, who is raging. Says Harris quit. He's not hurt. That's an excuse. He left Storm down. He left America down. Says Harris has until Thursday on Impact to apologize to Storm and America.
Yeah, I just love he left America down.
Because he's like, did you see that? Did you see that anthem being played in America?
Which is very funny, again, because like the crowd was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good song. We all just enjoyed the Mexican national anthem because we have respect. We're like Booker T. Respect. That's a new one we have to do until it happens, like we did Warrior. As AMW are on the brink, and LAX the titles weren't even on the line, but they are still NWA World Tag Team Champions. I like the way the titles weren't even on the line, which is like, should be in theory, if I were like the day before this show and I saw, well, flag match, but the titles aren't on the line, you're like, oh, well, AMW are winning, I guess. But like, nope, America failed again.
Yep, I thought it was really interesting too, that little like, they're like, this is for the first time in history. America lost the flag match.
America has been defeated live on pay-per-view by another country. And we close the show, as we always do, with the Voodoo Kin Mafia.
I don't want to do it.
We have to, and there's a lot of it.
But I hated it, man.
It's truly, truly, truly abysmal.
Oh, God.
Because, like, people remember this very badly. People are, at the time, people thought it was dog shit. And yet somehow, so like, that's the frame of mind I'm going into it, revisiting it, that, like, this is bad. Everyone thought it was bad, and I remember it being bad. And then somehow watching it, it's even worse.
I mean, it's some of the worst shit you'll ever watch.
It's really, like, down, like, you might be like, oh, the Tracy Brooks against Eric Young bikini contest, that's not wrestling.
That clears this like 5,000 times over.
Yeah, that's 1,000,000 times closer to being the kind of professional wrestling I would like to watch compared to this BG James bullshit.
I've truly walked away from these few years of TNA thinking that BG James is the worst wrestler of all time.
He's definitely a very, very high-level candidate.
And because when I say that, I don't mean like including fucking bullshit like shindy guys or whatever. I mean like worst wrestler to be in major wrestling promotions, like who has made money, who has done the thing and been in like wrestling on a meaningful scale. I truly believe I have not seen a pro wrestler that I despise more. In ring, on promos, character, general vibe, just everything about him is just distasteful.
Mm-hmm. You know what the most frustrating thing is for me? Theoretically, like, TNA is probably giving him an amount of creative freedom.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of wrestlers who were forced to do a lot of dog shit because they worked for bad bookers and they just had to do the shit.
Mm-hmm.
I am certain, like, I'm sure there's some stuff that was out of his control, but I don't get the sense that TNA is like, you're doing 3 Live Crew, you're doing homophobic promos, you're doing WWE call-out stuff. Like, I don't get the sense that this is an edict from high above. I get the sense that there is an element of his creativity in here, which makes it even worse. That, like, you were given free reign.
It screams him.
Yeah, it's like you were given the opportunity to show your true self. You know, if you were ever in your career like Vince McMahon held me back, Vince McMahon held me down, Vince McMahon didn't give me the opportunities I deserved based on the crowd reactions I was getting. Which, like, that's the one thing you'll give him. 1998, New Age Outlaws were popular. Like, that's you can't deny that. They're not popular now, but 1998, they had some catchphrases. So if you want to be like, Vince didn't give me my chance to be a star, you watch this shit and you're like, well, Vince was dead fucking right about that one.
Maybe you just weren't. Maybe you shouldn't have ever been, like, left to your own devices.
Yeah. So, first day back to the month, the Voodoo Kin Mafia are in Stamford, Connecticut, as they begin what they call Operation Cease and Desist. BG makes a comment about how they can pal around with a big fat oily guy at home if they want because the Democrats have been voted in, but not on their watch. The woke 2006 Democrats will allow the big fat oily guy in people's homes.
I'm not being a part of this, I've decided. I hated this so much, I skipped segments. I don't even skip segments, like, ever. Like, I will 2 times speed them, and I will grit my teeth, and I will watch the worst of the worst. But I actively had to stop watching this fucking show, because this shit was so fucking bad.
And there was 3 segments per show for, I think, every show this month, including a big pay-per-view segment. Diabolical stuff. So we go back to VKM later in that show. They talk about how bad the dumb to the extreme skits are, which is what they call DX, because they can't call them DX, so they call them dumb to the extreme. Do you get it? BG shouts at the sat-nav because Kip, they're going to the target. They're in the hunt of the target. So Kip put the target into sat-nav, and Liam, they went to Target, the store. The store, Liam. They went to the store.
I'm slapping my fucking knee. It's so fucking funny, man.
They throw shit at Target. BG is mad that Kip thought Target meant Target, the store, rather than the Target.
Silly fucking idiot, Kip James.
And then, at the end of the show, post-adrenaline rush, as a show-ending teaser, we get the final VKM video, as BG is complaining that they're lost in Connecticut as they stumble across WWE headquarters. The following week, VKM are back in Stamford. They want WWE to sign a cease and desist. They're just doing to WWE what WWE did to WCW. They've got 2 words for Vince. Stop, please. Later in the show, VKM are back. A man is in the trunk of their car and he hands them a cone. They use the cone as a megaphone. Asks Vince, Paul Levesque, Michael Hickenbottom to come out with their pants up. Kip says he wants the $20 from 4 years ago he still owed and giggles. Later in the same show, the third segment again, on the same show, VKM are on the phone being like, you know we're out here. They're still sleeping outside in a SpongeBob blanket. It's a very SpongeBob month after dark. It's
what is this SpongeBob sponsorship?
We're sponsored by Sonic this month, guys, not SpongeBob. It is 1:23 a.m. Kip wakes up having a nightmare about the big fat oily guy segments. BG says they're real and they'll be on our next pay-per-view. The go-home show. We're in the VKM newsroom as Kip and BG are doing some political commentary.
That's what I've always wanted.
Yep.
To hear these 2 racist old fat fucks. I can't call one of them fat. One of them is in amazing shape all the time.
It's like a Weekend Update SNL style, I think is what they're going for. He throws the BG in front of fans chanting DX suck. They want DX to stop it now. And BG James, he's not wearing pants, Liam. It's because the newsreaders are usually shoving the waist up, and it turns out he's not wearing pants. It's comedy. It's
cocking balls out.
Later in the show, we go back to the VKM newsroom because one segment wasn't enough. They bury the opening of the Marine, the opening weekend, the box office. The Marine's name was bleeped because they were afraid of being sued because they're cowards, I guess. VG has snuck a night vision camera in for fan reactions of this show, and they're all asleep. They're asleep because it's
a boring movie.
As we're forced to watch this segment on this show, which is not at all boring. I would rather watch the Marine than these segments.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a bold statement. I haven't watched the Marine since I saw it in the cinema in 2006, but I'm sure it's fine. Later in the show, Mike Tenay blessedly informs us that VKM will perform their next skit from Jump to the Extreme at the next pay-per-view, Turning Point.
Oh, thank God. I was really, worried that on a show that was paid for, you wouldn't have to sit through this.
A show that has 6 wrestling matches, a bikini contest, a baseball segment, and this.
Vince Russo.
Letitia is outside the dump in the Extreme locker room. A large fat man comes out and accosts her while knocking on the door, then asks where catering is. Dave gives us her assessment of Letitia. The name of the new interviewer is Letitia Klein, whose age is being listed as 28. She was tons better on the pay-per-view than she's been on TV, and seemed to have gotten over her nervousness, and was also made up to look a lot prettier. She's already better than the majority of women WWE has hired in the same spot. Still, when it comes to interacting with talent on interviews designed to get over matches or characters, they should use Borash. But she was doing good in the skits, Dave says.
Dave's horny now, so she gets a pass.
Old Dave, even 2006 not really old. 90s, 80s Dave is crazy. He says some shit. Yeah. But it's so funny. He's like, you know what? I preferred her because I thought she looked prettier.
I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Later in the show, Letitia is backstage as a fake Vince is there. I think it's the same fake Vince from the Cookiegate segments, which were infinitely better at trying to do the same thing, by the way.
Yeah. Because it was based on something real.
And PG was actually in those ones.
Yeah.
He has a chicken in a cage as he loves cocks.
Yeah, because that's the jokes that they used to make.
Mm-hmm. Vince fires Letitia, as she says, only in TNA, and he struts away. How she would know that, I don't know. She's been here a month.
And also, not literally, because this is a bit that is done on other shows that you're making fun of. So,
yeah.
So, it's not only in TNA. Also, you're ripping off for, a WWF angle. So,
Yeah. There's layers of plagiarism here.
Yeah.
VKM come out later in the show. They are dressed as Michael Hickenbottom and Paul Levesque.
Hickenbottom!
A reminder that one of the men involved in these segments is the head writer of WWE SmackDown right now in 2025.
Yeah.
They're interrupted by a fake Spirit Squad who take bumps for cross chops and then leave. They then bring out a fat, oily guy who does a little dance and then super kicks one of the Spirit Squad. The oily guy is Tiny, by the way. If you remember Tiny, the bellkeeper from the Asylum days. If you're wondering who's the oily guy, Tiny does not go on to write Lucha Underground, as the WWE oily guy does. But VKM's music hits. Help me, they're in my house.
Still, theme is goated.
It's one good thing they have going for them. It is a good theme. So the segment does not end. The music hits, and the segment continues.
The segment does not end.
They reveal themselves to be Kip and BG James.
Holy fucking shit.
It's not Michael Hickenbottom and Paul Levesque at all.
I really thought it was them.
They inform us that they were having some fun and games. This was parody, but now we're shooting.
This is legally parody.
Quotes JR that Vince doesn't care about Kip and BG, but apparently WWE wanted them to stop because they kept sending cease and desist letters. They talk about how all the WCW and DX invasion stuff went down. BG, not his best promo in the world, he just kind of stutters his way through it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yes, but Vince is going to sue TNA for a parody after you did all that WCW stuff. The hypocrisy. The crowd chant, screw you, Vince. So BG issues a $1 million challenge for DX to face VKM because they're insecure about how WWE presents VKM within DX history. They talk to the bean counters at TNA, and they're willing to put up $1 million to get Triple H and Shawn Michaels anywhere. No wrestling match, no angles, no spots, no finish. Just men versus those pussies. Vince has to accept, or they'll prove to the world that Vince, in BG's words, the one good bit of this promo, is a gutless piece of shit. You know what I realized? I forgot about this when I was thinking about this, but Triple H tears his quad like a month after this.
Yeah.
Which I think is the only reason it didn't happen, actually.
Yeah, it was actually moving towards that direction, as we know.
Definitely gonna happen. They were definitely gonna do the match, and then Triple H blew out his quad again.
As BG said, I'm a piece of shit and my wrestling's bad, but this angle is good fun, and it's definitely going to pay off.
It'll get people talking. You know what the worst part of this angle is?
Every waking second I've spent looking at it,
and then it transitions into an even worse angle. The angle they do after this, coming out of this, is worse than this one.
Simply, how is that possible?
Oh, you will see. You will see. After BGJ's rant on Sunday's pay-per-view, which included harsh, unscripted language, as soon as he got backstage, he said, in effect, go ahead, fire me. I got carried away.
It says "Find me."
Wasn't scripted. Oh, it says fine, so he's not even that cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was gonna let it flow, but then I was like, not because of miscategorizing what BG James allegedly said, but because he's not that dope.
Yeah, if he was like, because that was the Joe one. The Joe, like, when he's doing the shoot promo where he looks down at Dixie, he's like, "Fire me, I don't care." Mm-hmm. That's cool. Sorry, yeah, he said, "Go ahead, fine me." I got carried away. During his speech, everyone gathered backstage around the monitors to watch and listen. A lot of people in TNA are keeping a close eye on Dixie Carter, seeing how she reacts to this situation. It's the first time getting the full legal court press from WWE. Does she have the stomach for the fight, or will she prefer to just lay off and stick to promoting family-friendly, non-controversial product she preaches about?
What? I'm sorry. There is 0% of this show that is family-friendly.
There is, like, the main world title angle is the devil trying to tempt a Christian man into relapsing.
Not to mention the Bikini Contest and serotonin and LAX.
Mm-hmm. Even Angle Joe is like a bloodbath.
Yeah, like, what are we doing?
Like, there's what's the most wholesome thing on this? Save Daniels.
Literally nothing.
The PCS is chlamydia jokes.
And it's piss and being on the gas.
Yeah.
I guess maybe Rhino trying to save a friendship.
Rhino trying to save a man's soul without trying to tempt him into the evil ways of wrestling.
Yeah.
I think the gutless piece of shit thing was the thing that they probably took too far. So the one good thing he said he got in trouble for. Yeah. But that is this month's VKM bullshit. It's it doesn't get better. It frankly doesn't get better.
Good to know.
It's diabolical trash. That is the month that is December 2006, Turning Point 2006. We'll be back with a new episodes of Gift of the Pods and Rain Takers coming up on the Patreon feed, tnachat.com, patreon.com/kiddingme. Check those out. We'll be back whenever we're back with the Final Resolution 2007 episode. You see, I'll just keep pushing and we'll eventually get them back down to an episode a month someday, at least. But yes, the Final Resolution 2007 episode will be your next episode. After that episode, we'll also have drafts end of year awards as well. So look forward to those. Follow me on Twitter at Garrett and Liam, on Twitter at the Gleet Muda. No, not the Gleet Muda, at the Smoke McTavish.
It'll be different by the time you look at it. Don't follow me. Fuck off.
Thank you. And at the podcast at TNA History. Subscribe to us on YouTube, and you've got to be kidding me. TikTok at TNA History Pod. Oh no, Twitter is TNA History Pod. TikTok is TNA History. That's our show. Thanks. Bye.
A hot ending.
Woo!
Do damn thing. Woo.
Warrior.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
My name is Tyler Fornes, and I am one of the co-hosts of the Good, the Bad, and the Hungy AEW podcast here on the Voice of Wrestling Podcasting Network. We take a broad scope approach to the world of All Elite Wrestling and the entire universe of Tony Khan. We talk about the big matches, the big stars, the promos, the storylines, and we also look at it from a big picture perspective. How are things going to change over the course of the next 10 years with AEW still in the picture? How are companies like WWE going to adapt and adjust to AEW? Are they going to be a similar way like they did with WCW in the late 1990s? Will there be a counterpunch? We talk about all of that and more on The Good, the Bad, and the Hungy every week on the Voice of Wrestling Network.
Hello, Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network listeners. I am Jeff Hawkins, co-host of Shake Them Ropes, with a very special announcement. If it's been a while or you've never listened to us before, the original gang is back. Myself and Rob McCarran, back talking wrestling. We have no idea where this show's going to go, where we're going to keep any of the old bits or any of the old things in there. It's going to be a process. It's going to be a journey, and we'd like for you to come along with us. Only on Shake Them Ropes on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network.